Hello. That's a fun song. I'm just sitting here going like that's I'm like jamming out to it. Anyway, hello everybody. How are you today? Trying to figure out my clothing situation here. I've got layers because I'm an onion. I'm an ogre. I can't figure out which direction I want to go with that. Anyway, welcome to the show. It's time. How are you today? I'm doing all right so far. Oh, Spider with the tier 2 sub before we even got rolling in here. Thank you so much. I hope that you enjoy your dicks. Enjoy the dicks. If you're on the YouTube page and you didn't know that I have a website, come over to the website. Top link in the description. Luxander.net/live. We got custom emojis. We got like the direct donation thing set up over here because it's not set up that way on YouTube. YouTube takes so much of your money. Man, y'all, it's crazy. Anyway, hi. Lots of folks over there hanging out in the YouTube chat, or maybe just several of you and you're talking a lot. Dark Canuck, hello, welcome. We got Captain Cougar, there's Phoebe, hey. There's Ambi, we got Paul Hack, hello. And there's Gremlin Lord as well, Spacer's Choice, Celebrity Guest, good grief, there's so many people over there. And, of course, my lovely hordies, members of the Horde, over on YouTube chat-o. We got T-Rex Dictator, hello. There's Junebug, we got Baphomet, and everybody's doing their dicks. Mama Mephistopheles, Junebug, I already said that. Andy's Mints, hello. Nuvenol, as usual. Sisukara, hello as well. Ooh, yes. And there's Raymond. Or that was from last time. Couple people. And then Beth. Hello, Beth. Decoy Duck. Greetings, humanoid earth creatures. How do you know? That's very presumptuous, sir. I don't actually know if you're a sir. So that was presumptuous of me. Naughty boy. What's up, Cushmilk and Cans and Capybara? And what's up, Timerinia? YouTube gives creators almost no money and then gets... and then people complain about sponsored segments. Yeah... Let me complain about my world's smallest... Yeah, listen. Like, I've had people in my personal life complain to me before about, like, oh, you know, it sucks that I use... or no, not even it sucks that I use ad block. People will be like, it sucks that I pay for YouTube Premium, and I still... Sorry, I'm tightening my microphone thingy. They're like, it sucks that I pay for YouTube Premium, and I still have to see ads in the form of... hold on. This is being really annoying. Okay, there we go. They're like, I still have to see sponsored content. I still have to see SpawnCon. And I'm like, well, fucking... Yeah, for every person who's using YouTube Premium and paying $10 a month, there's like fucking 15 people who are using ad block and maybe 5 or 10 people who are like watching the ads. And of those 5 or 10 people who are watching the ads, you maybe get 0.1% of those people will occasionally click the ads. All right? Yeah, I'd rather watch sponsored content than ads. Agree, Spacer's Choice. At least there's like something to the flavor of it. Tom Scott does ad reads for NordVPN, not a sponsor on my channel, and he did a video recently about AI and about like how like the future of it and if we are on the precipice of another really intense thing. And Tom Scott did, at the very end of the video, he had, like, AI do an ad read for him. I mean, he read the segment, but it was written by the robot, and it was pretty good. Like, it wasn't that bad. I like Internet Comment Etiquette. His ad reads are pretty good. I haven't watched his stuff in a while. I've just not been in the mood for it. It's like Vosh said, only about 1/3 of YouTube viewers use ad block realistically. That's still a lot of lost revenue. I mean, I guess like they already, what I'm saying is they already don't pay us very much. So losing any amount of that revenue sucks. But I mean, yeah, it's 1/3 of like ad revenue. Bloggerheads don't know about Knobbleberry, shake my head. Oh yeah. Oh, that's curious. Baphomet, if you use that sponsor block thing, does it work when you're watching someone like Internet Comment Etiquette? Do you watch Eric's videos? I'm considering YouTube Premium. Listen, okay, as a representative of this company, as a representative of YouTube, but no, like me personally, I think it's worth the money. Like, I pay for YouTube Premium. I don't know. I feel like I should get it for free. You know, like it just seems like I should be able to have it for free because I work for this corporation. But whatever. So I pay for the $10 a month for YouTube Premium. It has the downloads function. That's the main way that I listen to music. And like, I sometimes I'll find like podcasts or like sections from audiobooks and stuff like that and video essays. And I'll go ahead and get those on my downloads list. Because the other thing is you can turn off your screen while you're playing a video, which otherwise you can't do. As well as the no ads experience. Like the no ads experience at this point in my life is kind of an afterthought because I've forgotten what it's like to have my video viewing experience interrupted by ads. It's been years and it's super worth it. Like the amount of time that I spend watching YouTube videos and like therefore the amount of time that I save not being forced to watch ads is well worth the $10 a month for sure. Looking fresh today. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I feel like I shouldn't be looking fresh today because I went to the gym. YouTube Premium was nice when I had it, and ads have honestly gotten more agonizing. What's up, Hellhound? Are there just like more unskippable ads and stuff like that? Like what? How are they different? Because I don't watch them. Yeah, camping. So I went camping at a place where, oh, thank you. Thank you, Hollow. I appreciate. Yeah, I did work out earlier though. So Sunday I was like, okay, I want to go camping. And I ended up going to, it's not like a very big campground. So like you're like, there are other campgrounds around and you're pretty close to those other camping spots. You know, it's like it's pretty like, how am I trying to say this? Like it's pretty orderly and like everything is kind of packed in pretty close together is what I'm trying to say. And some folks came by later on in the night that like disrupted my experience. Not like they disrupted my experience personally, like they didn't come bother me, but they were being disruptive. So no, I did not get eaten by bears. All the worry from chat and not a single large mammal assault. So here are the positives about it. I got there and like set up my tent, which was kind of difficult for only one person to set up a tent. And like if you haven't been here following the saga, there's like 50 people here. There's a possibility that some of you have never been here before. I decided that I wanted to go camping. I'm trying new things. And yeah, so it was family drama from camping neighbors is basically what it was. Like long story short. But so the initial time, like I got out there and it was a little bit later than I meant for it to be. So I had a little bit less sunlight to work with than I was hoping. But I got my tent put up and then I started a fire in the little like metal fire thing that they had on the campground. And it was pretty, I mean, it was like pretty good. I was not like blown away by the experience, but it was nice to, I enjoyed tending a fire for a few hours. I ate some beef jerky and then I made some s'mores for myself and ate a couple of s'mores. And I mean, it got dark pretty early. So here's a couple of things that I learned. Going later in the season is better because you have more sunlight to work with. It went like sunset was before 7 o'clock, you know, and then obviously like there's still some light in the sky, but not for very long. So it will be better if I go later in the season for that reason. And if I get out there a little bit earlier in the day, that also gives me more time to work with. Because like I didn't have time to go hiking or any of the other stuff that I had thought I might do with the light that I had. So there's that. And then also, I mean, it was pretty chill in the sense that it was nice and nature-y. That was cool. there were owls, and I think that there were 2 owls and that maybe they fucked. That's kind of the impression that I get. And there were coyotes. There was a pack of coyotes in the distance. Not anywhere near me, but like I could hear them. I know what coyotes sound like because I've lived in the country before. There were ducks at one point through the night, which was interesting. And when I say through the night, I mean, you know, it was like dark by 8 o'clock or whatever. And then I ended up leaving actually at like midnight. Because yeah, like I decided to tuck in to go to sleep. And then shortly after that, there were a whole bunch of disruptive things happening in the local area. And that went on for like an hour. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Considering how late it is right now and the fact that this disruptive thing is happening, and I'm going to be trying to go weightlift tomorrow, which at that time was Monday. I was like, Monday is tomorrow and I'm going to go weightlifting tomorrow. I'm going to wake up at like 6 a.m. because of the sun coming up. Like I'm definitely going to wake up at like 5 or 6 in the morning and be like, okay, I'm ready to start my day. So if I was only going to get like a couple hours of sleep if I were to stay and try to sleep on the floor. So I decided to pack up the tent and everything and go home. And that's what I did. And then I went and I had my day yesterday and I did weightlifting and that was great. And then I did weightlifting again today and that was also great. And I'm way more interested in talking about that. The best way to camp is to burrow underground and lie in wait like a crab for passing hikers. True. Lots of geese and ducks migrate at night. Oh, okay. I did not know that. There were also a number of smaller birds that I don't know what they were, but there were like chirping birds happening for like that. It's like nighttime, but it's still before midnight, like early in the evening kind of thing, you know? I have an owl in a tree just above my bedroom window that often hoots at night. I've gotten used to him. Yeah, there were, I believe, 2 owls because at one point the hooting was like overlapping, and they were the ones that were going like hoo hoo hoo, like they were those guys. So I'm probably gonna not go camping again until like May, like when it's warmer for sure. It was a little bit disappointing, I guess, but could have been worse. I also think that I want to go ahead and get the little like air mattress thing before I go again, because this time I just brought my yoga mat and was like, okay, yoga mat and then my sleeping bag and like an additional blanket inside the sleeping bag with me. And yeah, I would much rather have some kind of air mattress. That would be good. Or also a distinct possibility is that because of my disabilities and how much I have difficulty sleeping anyway, and how much of a negative impact not sleeping has on my life and my health, there's a possibility that camping is a thing that I should not do. Like there's a distinct possibility. The ground sucks the heat from your body. Yeah, it's mostly because of my hip pressure points and my shoulder pressure points. I just drove. Yeah, I just drove out there. Not a backpacker. This was like glamping essentially. This was easy mode camping at a place where I knew that there were going to be other people. I just was not. I mean, there were other people earlier in the night and they were just quiet and cool and chill. And then just later at night, some people showed up and were like being loud. It was pretty irritating. Did anyone from that 4v1 debate treat you, who were treating you like you were overstating harm, ever change their mind on the transgenocide thing yet? A good number of the people on that panel were actually like scummy people, and I just didn't know that they were scummy beforehand. So some of them I've blocked on Twitter and don't know how they're doing because I decided that they were bad people and I was not interested in knowing them. God damn it, Malcolm, when we had a follow-up conversation, seemed to be kind of more on the side of like, yeah, I could agree that the conditions for genocide are happening in certain states or whatever. But again, like, I think that our main disagreement was just on the optics. Yeah, better to just dip your toes in it first. Exactly, Dark Canuck. Yeah, what's up, Aaron? I hate sleeping on anything that isn't a decent mattress. I've gone camping a lot in my life, and the worst part has always been sleeping at night. Right, I'm starting to think that this actually might be, like, a bad idea. Like, actually might be a bad idea. But I have to get a really decent camping mattress first. And then even then still, I'm probably going to make that trade-off. I'm probably going to make that trade-off of going ahead and still camping a few times a year, even knowing that it will be a shitty night of sleep. And I'll just have to plan around, like, I'll just have to plan some recovery time for that, essentially. Like, I would probably not go weightlifting on the next day. I used to sleep on the ground and be fine, but now even on a mattress, I end up sore in the morning. Right. Like, I'm sore enough. I really appreciated, because I got enough donations in January that I was able to just buy a mattress, because for a while I did not have one at all. Like, during this, like, whole moving into my own apartment process. So I still have another mattress that I want to get. That's going to be like the nice one, the expensive one, the good. But I have to get more good credit. So that's a thing that I'm doing as an adult. I am about to turn 29 this month. Happy birthday to me this month. And I am in the process of learning how to build good credit. I'm doing a great job so far. It's going well. But it's kind of annoying. And I'm playing a little bit of catch up. So when I have, like, even betterer credit as I'm working toward building it now, I'm going to get an even betterer mattress. Was camping good? I just went over it, Super Dr. Hulock. I didn't talk about it for very long, though. Like, you might go back like 5 minutes and get the long and short of it. TLDR, it was fine, but not great. Sleeping under the stars is such a wonderful experience, though. I hiked out in Tonto National Forest a few years ago where there was no light pollution at all. I fell asleep watching stars rotate overhead. There's so many when you're away from the city. Shooting stars every few minutes, magic. Agreed. I don't think I've ever been that far away from light pollution, but I've been pretty far away from light pollution. And you wouldn't be able to sleep at night in the winter outside, but that is when there's the most clarity. In the winter when the air is cold, you know, there's like the least amount of particles in the air, because normally, like, particles cling to the humidity. So, like, if it's cold, it's like dry generally. Ooh, Aaron, it's your B-Day month too. Mine only. No, just kidding. I do like to kind of pretend to be silly about it. Like, no, it's nobody else's birthday month. We are in competition for it, and it's mine. Yes, I'm also really glad I managed to get a mattress. I appreciate everybody's generosity with that. It just takes a long time for credit score to go up. Easy to make it go down quickly, though. Yeah. Ugh, it's obnoxious. But it's pretty easy, you know? If you want to build credit, you, like, if you're in a position where you have no credit and you're like, I am trying to figure out what to do, apply for, like, a Target credit card. And, like, start there. Because they might go ahead and, even if you don't have any credit experience, they might still give you like a $200 credit limit. And that's a good place to start. And then, like, once a month, buy something small from Target and then pay it off, like, when your statement is due next month, you know? And just, it'll go up incrementally. And then you open more and more credit accounts and continue to use them in this, like, sparing only buy what you can actually afford kind of way. I did rely on my credit card a little bit when I moved, but then, like, I paid off my credit card this month. So, like, last month. Like, I used it a little bit more than I wanted to in December and January, but then I was able to pay it off because I didn't overuse it. Right, credit score being the capitalist permanent record. It's so dumb. Listen, it's dumb, but once you understand how to do it, getting a loan, actually, I mean, it can be good for your credit, but at the end of your loan, the account closes, so you do get like a hit on your credit at the end of it. Whereas that is not the case with your credit card things. And also, like, because it closes the account when you pay off a loan, it doesn't necessarily continue to register as a credit account that like certain creditors will basically not care about it. Like, I paid off my car loan a couple years back, and when I went to apply for some credit stuff last year, I couldn't use that account. Like, basically, it showed as having no credit because my account had closed when I paid off my loan, and I didn't have any active credit cards. So you have to have like open, actively used accounts in order for it to count. And like, if it's been longer than 6 months or whatever, it can drop off of your credit score and it just not count anymore. Yeah, exactly. Did you know that your credit score can go down if you pay your loans back quickly and promptly? Specifically because they couldn't leech interest off of you, you aren't as profitable a prospect to lend to, right? Closing accounts somehow hurts your score. Stupid as hell. Right. You're supposed to have like accounts that have been open and well managed for a long period of time, because that's more proof that you are good at handling. It's basically like you're supposed to prove that you have the ability to use a lot of money for your debt, but that you are not using it that way. It's super strange. Like, the people with the highest credit scores, so the first chunk of like highest credit scores, I can't remember exactly, it's like the top 10% or whatever, is using like less than 30% of their total credit amount that they have. So like, if you have 3 credit cards and they each have a $200 limit, and your total credit limit is like $600, you have to continue to spend like less than 30% of that, basically. Like, you can't have more than that amount of debt at once, because it starts to fuck your shit up. And then the even higher, smaller percentage, I cannot remember what percentage it is, but like the top 3% of credit scores, they're using like 8% or less of their total credit limit. Yeah. You want to basically keep it below 10% of your total credit limit. So if basically, like, if you have a $2,000 credit limit, you have about $200 of emergency credit money that you can use if you need to. It might bite me in the butt later, but I refuse to get a card. Gremlin Lord, I'm telling you, like, you think, oh, credit is dumb and I'm gonna like just not do it. I'm just gonna pay everything in cash. But there is gonna come a time where you don't have the cash to buy the car you need, and it's like a situation that needs to be solved immediately. This might be a dumb question, but what happens if you take out a massive loan and then die? If I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea. I assume if you're married, then your spouse becomes responsible for the debt. But I don't know otherwise. Delicious. Okay. Water. Credit cards can also literally be free money. I have one that is just 1.8% cash back on all purchases, and I always can pay it off. So yeah, just free money for me. Cool. Your estate and then your spouse. Yeah, okay. I don't know that I have cash back on any of my credit cards, but I just recently applied for another one and I got it. So my total credit limit has gone up, and here is a stream where you learn how to be an adult. It's not really a winning strategy, apparently, because we are losing some people. The stream title is They're Coming for the Gays Too, and then you come in and it's like, here's how to build good credit. Anyway, yeah, but so I decided to start lifting, and I started that this week. I went ahead and started eating more than I need to last week. Like, I need to start eating more because otherwise you will not put on the muscle, right? So, I am doing basically, I'm going to the gym like 4 days a week, and then I'm going to do cardio 2 other days of the week, and then Sunday's going to be my rest day. I got to stream. earlier in the day on Sundays too, so that is part of it as well. So I'm gonna do like my first day is like arms, chest, shoulders, upper back a bit, and then and I eat lots of protein, and then my second day is like glutes, legs, lower back, I guess, like hips. So the actual exercises that I'm doing, if you're curious, I can run through them like super quick. Where is it? What is this thing called? Okay, so like the day that I do arms, I do I try to do them in like a specific order, because I was reading some things about like you want to work the kind of like big muscle groups first, like the fundamental muscle groups. So if you're gonna have a back exercise in the whole spiel, you should do the back exercise first. And also other stuff, like you should do the compound movements earlier in your exercise so that you don't make mistakes and accidentally injure yourself, like because compound movements, like they just require more control. And so it's just, if you do them when you're more exhausted, it can be just bad for you, not good. Okay, hold on. What am I missing? There's my chat. It's back. I've only been exercising 3 days a week. Is that why I can't seem to make any progress? I guess it depends. Like, what kind of progress are you trying to make, and what exercises are you doing? Like, you can do 3 days a week. I think if you were doing 3 days a week, you would need to hit all the muscle groups each day, basically. But what I'm doing is like on my chest and arms day, I'll do lat pull down, like on a machine. I go to a gym in order to work out. And so like lat pull down, that's like a back exercise, gets you warmed up. And then I do upright row, which is just like this with a bar. You can do it with dumbbells, but I do it with a bar. Like I just prefer the stability. And then curl to press, which is like, it's kind of like, you do a normal bicep curl, except that, so you do the bicep up and then you push up overhead. So like that normally you could do in 2 different exercises. Like normally you would do focus like, oh, I'm going to do a whole bunch of curls. And then like you would switch and do a whole bunch of overhead press. But instead I just decided to incorporate it into one compound exercise. Personal preference. And also like as many of these exercises as I can do, I'm doing standing up, because like you can focus more on the muscle itself that you're working if you're sat down, but then it's not going to give you the like core work. Like the core kind of distributes the like effort that you're exerting when you're standing up and needing to keep your body balanced and stable at the same time as you're lifting the weights. But I'm doing that on purpose because I'm not specifically working my core. Like I'm only working my core to the extent that this is like, it's just incidental to these other exercises. So, so those are, the first 3 is lat pull down, upright row, curl to press. And then I do triceps extension, which is this one. And then horizontal dumbbell row, where you like lean over and you like have a dumbbell in your hand, like at like extended, and then you pull it up. And that's like working your arm, shoulder, and back here. So that's like that's one day. That's my arms day. And then my second day, so I do that, like basically what I'm going to do is like arms on Monday and Thursday, and legs on Tuesday and Friday, and then cardio on Wednesday and Saturday. I don't know enough of these words. Yeah. I just kind of like did a few hours of research and like learned what things target different muscle groups. And I chose a lot of exercises that work more than one. Like I don't really want to do any isolating exercises. I don't want to sit here and do these. I don't want to do curls like this because that's only focusing on this one part of that muscle. Like your bicep even has multiple parts to it. So I decided I wanted to do exercises that yeah, are kind of like gonna work several things together at the same time, which also means that I'm not gonna get as bulky as some other people might. Bicep curls also make you look like a douche. Yeah. Make sure to keep good form too. Have someone watch you at the gym to yeah. I don't ever want to talk to anyone at the gym. Does anybody else have this feel? I'm like, I literally never want to speak to anyone at the gym in any way, shape, or form. Damn, that's a lot of planning. Yeah, I mean, I thought about this a lot. And then, so I am actually like not sure about one thing about my legs day. First of all, apparently all of the leg exercises that I do, just like they take a lot longer to do the reps than it would take to do all the arm stuff. Like I was in the gym for way longer today than I was yesterday, even though I only did 5. I still did 5 exercises and I did 3 sets of 5, which is the exact same thing that I did yesterday. And like I did a warm-up set for each one as well. Good form is the most important thing, but yeah, I fucking hate talking to people. I will sit there, like I did deadlifts today, which I haven't done deadlifts since I want to say 2017. I can't remember. I feel like I started working out in 2016 and then I injured myself, but I can't remember if it was the same year, or I think maybe I had been lifting weights for maybe about a year and I injured myself doing a deadlift. And so I was a little bit freaked out about doing them again. But yeah, so I do have one question for everybody who has like exercise to do, but like, listen, I'll ask it when I'm done telling you. Okay, so I started with squats today, and then I did the Romanian deadlift, and I looked up a video and was like, Romanian deadlift, like show me how to do this without hurting myself. And I really tried to be careful and slow and stuck to the form exactly as it was described. And I did it without hurting myself, which was great. And then the next thing that I decided to do was single leg deadlift, which is not one that I had ever heard about before this. But a single leg deadlift is when you're holding like a dumbbell or a kettlebell or something in your, yeah. Sissy Fitness for tips to get a more feminine body. You would want to do like calisthenics. You would want to do low weight, high repetition. You would want to focus in on the glutes a lot. So today it was squats, deadlift, single leg deadlift. Single leg deadlift is basically you like are standing up straight and you put the dumbbells like in front of you and you lean forward and you stick out one of your legs to balance you as you lean forward with the dumbbells like weighting you down. It's you're like using your leg for stability, right? And you're working out the hamstring, or no. You're working out like the quad of the leg that's stabilizing you. And then you do that like a few times and then you switch legs. And then your other leg is... Yeah, it's really challenging because it requires a lot of balance. Like I've been doing yoga and I thought that was tough. Sounds like you're summoning something. Is it because of all of the foreign words? I've been doing calisthenics. I have a lot of trouble getting glutes to activate. Like when I do squats, it feels like it's all in the thighs. I switched to reverse lunges today, which seems to activate a bit more than regular lunges. Yeah, for sure. So I did squats, deadlift, single leg deadlift, lunges, and leg curls today. Those were the 5. And those... like the combination of things that I did today has left me in a place where like I can tell that my glutes are going to be really, really, really sore, because glutes are one of the things that I wanted to definitely train form. I trained form like I was lifting for a long time, like several years ago. I lifted weights in high school, so I learned it when I was young. And then I lifted weights a few years ago, and I did injure myself, but I have learned since then what my mistakes were. But so here's another thing. I realized that initially I was trying to do I foam roll? No, I don't. I guess I could use my yoga mat as a foam roll. I've never gotten into it though. So you may want to use a belt. There are two schools of thought with this. Possibly. So I was initially gonna go for strength, and I keep Googling things. I'm like looking up what the optimal rest time is in between sets, and like what's the number of reps that is the best for working with like different goals. And I'm actually gonna switch my tactic a little bit. What I was gonna do was try to basically push myself almost to failure in like a 3 sets of 5 repetitions for like that would be for building strength. But actually what my goal is hypertrophy. Like what my actual goal is to look more muscular. Not to actually be, I mean, yes, being stronger will necessarily be part of it, but my primary goal is not to like develop strength. It's honestly, my primary goal is to build a good aesthetic. So I actually need to do a little bit less weight and a little bit more repetitions. So that's what I'm going to probably switch to. Like I might stick to the building strength thing, like just with my benchmarks that I set this week. I might just like stick with 5 reps until that starts to feel like something that I'm actually strong at, and then increase the reps. I roll out before basically all of my runs. I've definitely been like, I've been doing a little bit more of these and like the spine is just like crickly crackling. Yeah, can we all be honest here for a minute and say that the primary goal is to look good? I like health and energy, but my number one goal is to be fucking hot. I mean, it's like a combo. Yeah. A balance of strength and looks are good, but bodybuilding culture can be extremely toxic and harmful. I've seen some of my friends fall victim to that. Right. You know, I actually realized something today, and I think sometimes, like, I imagine that other people would be upset about this, but like when I flex and my arms look really beefy, I realize that part of the reason why my arms look so beefy is because I have this flabby fat thing down here that just happens because there's just enough definition on my bicep. It happens to make my arm look like my triceps are like really built. And then like this inner part of the bicep, it makes it look like my arms are like thick with muscle because I have this like extra loose skin and fat underneath here. So yeah, but like I want to look stronger and be stronger. There's a correlation between being strong and living longer. And I want to have good cardio and be able to run fast. Like I could be just doing weightlifting, but no, what I'm going to do is then on Wednesdays and Saturdays is I'm going to go running or jogging or some combination of like walking, going cardio. Hello, you haven't really missed a lot, Shade. We've just been talking about camping, and then now we're talking about weightlifting. But yeah, so cardio, I guess like the recommendation nowadays is that you do like 150 minutes of cardio each week. I mean, it depends on whether if you're doing high intensity cardio, it's less than that. But if you're doing like medium intensity cardio, which is what I would like to do, it's like more than it's 2.5 hours of cardio a week. So I am gonna try to do. Is walking medium intensity? So yeah, it's like a brisk walk or a jog is like medium intensity. 150 minutes. Yeah, so I am going to just basically have 2 long like hikes each week, essentially. Because I know a few different places where there's trails. So I'll get out in nature, and those will probably, I guess, be my shower days too, because I'll have to spray myself with fucking bug spray and put on sunscreen and stuff. So, yeah. For however, I'm going to try to do that, like, I guess, a little bit longer than an hour each time I go. Like an hour, if I did each one for an hour 15, then that would be 2.5 hours over the course of the week. Christy, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Thank you. Oh gosh. Don't forget the bear spray. I do not need bear spray. Oh gosh. I just wish I enjoyed exercising, especially cardio, which I don't, and that makes me avoid it. You know what's really funny is that years ago, like when it was 2016 and I was working out on a regular basis, I was doing cardio as well. And I would think to myself, like, man, it always feels like when I'm exercising, my heart is the last thing to catch up. And then I found out, yeah, the bear spray isn't for camping, it's for the gym. True. But it has the opposite. It's for attracting the bears. Anyway, oh my God, I cannot remember what I was trying to say. Also bring the twink spray. Precisely. Oh yeah, so like I just have, it's been obvious for a long time that I have a heart condition. And it's like, oh, duh, you just figured this out. So now when I'm working out again, I'm trying to keep in mind that I have a heart condition, which is why I'm probably going to aim more for like a really nice, solid walk than I am to lean. I might build up to jogging, but not start with that. Because even lifting weights, like, gets my heart going pretty good. So trying to figure things out when we have disabilities, but we have goals. We got strong goals. We got goals to look bulked out and sexified and everything. So yeah, I'm trying my best to optimize as much as possible by reading multiple sources and coming up with a balanced exercise routine, which I feel that I've done. The only thing that I've worried about is because a deadlift and a single leg deadlift do operate on a lot of the same muscles, I'm like wondering if maybe that's overworking my glute, or maybe I just need to not do one right after the other. But I put squat first in my rotation because I feel like that's a lot of the core muscles, and like you might as well warm up some of those core muscles first. And then I put the deadlift next because I want to make sure not to injure myself. So I want to do that early in my routine before I get tuckered out. And then the same thing with the single leg deadlift. I want to do that relatively early in my routine because I don't want to, it's like a difficult motion and I don't want to fall over and hurt myself, you know? And then because lunges and leg curls are really low risk activities, I decided to go ahead and put them at the end. But I'm kind of thinking maybe I've piled on too much. Like I'm just, you know, because it took me so much longer in the gym today than it did yesterday. I went to the beautifully named Government Canyon State Natural Area this weekend for a hike, which turned out to be 10 miles because I underestimated it. Oof, yikes. Doing compound deadlifts is probably enough to start with if you're worried about overdoing it. I don't know which ones are compound deadlifts. I'll have to look that up. What does that mean? What do you mean? Compound deadlift. Both legs. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. So like I just did the Romanian deadlift today. From my experience, the pyramid training system has worked best. You start with a lighter weight to warm up in each exercise. Then in each subsequent series, you increase the weight and reduce the repetitions. Yeah, so what I've decided to do is I do like a warm-up rep that's a really low weight or I do a set that's pretty low weight and a pretty high repetition. Like today I did lunges and I did like 10 lunges with no weight. And then I picked up a 15-pound dumbbell and I started doing my lunges with the 15 pounds, and I only did like 5. I should probably have not warmed up with 10 lunges, but that's just like to give you an idea of I'm doing a warm-up set each time, which is obviously taking extra time. Is this a new hyperfixation? Because it's giving those vibes. I don't know. Is it? Like, I will stop talking about it. It's just that I have been thinking about it a lot right now because it's only the second day that I started, and it will probably start to be boring soon. But it's like a new fun activity, and I want other people to be thinking about ways in which they could be building their skills and their strength and being healthy where it is possible to do that. Oh my god, there's so much random hair on this pop filter. I'm gonna have to clean it someday. Finding ways to keep it interesting becomes an active hobby for sure. Yeah, basically my idea is I'm gonna do hypertrophic lifting for 4 to 6 weeks, and then I'm gonna switch back to the calisthenics that I was doing, because then you're building like the strength and sexy muscles, and then when you switch back to calisthenics, you're building your endurance and stamina. And because you're still working those muscles, I don't think you really lose a lot. I'll be curious to see if you lose much in the hypertrophy. Like, I might very well end up doing this in cycles of 6 weeks of strength and then 4 weeks of calisthenics. How buff do you want to look? Not like really buff. I mean, I just really want to have good arms and shoulders mostly. So I'm going to put a lot of effort into getting to a certain size, and then I'll probably like stop trying to get bigger. I don't know. Is this one of those things where you get into it and you just keep, is it like tattoos where like once you start, you can't stop and you're like, I have to get bigger and bigger and bigger? I don't know. I guess maybe there aren't any, is this like a weird thing for me as a lefty? Because, you know, I really don't know that I see other lefties talking about their like exercise routine. We should definitely be, okay, we're gonna like have to like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna need Hassan. Okay, so Hassan, that's true. I just don't fuck with Hassan, so maybe that's just me. But like, there aren't very many of us who talk about this. Vosh has been injured for like 13 months, and I don't think he can exercise right now. We should definitely promote this, though. Hassan talks about it quite a bit. Okay, I guess fair enough. Am I alone in not really finding muscles very sexy? There's like a middle ground that I think is optimal. I just, you know, people who are super crazy ripped, not really my deal. But if you're like fit looking, you know, Zan was into it last year. Yeah, I saw that Zan has gotten into Seattle now, and I'm hoping that that is good for him, because honestly, he looks like he has been on the struggle bus a bit lately, and I'm hoping that things start to get a little bit easier for him. Vosh keeps trying, but he's kind of relegated to walking right now. Ugh, that's rough. Yeah, no, bodybuilders are not sexy. You know, when they dehydrate themselves in order to be super like skinny, or not skinny, but like, you know, to have that like the skin is attached to the muscles kind of look. No body fat. Health-related chat is cool to talk about, especially with disability/accessibility tips and normalizing. Yeah, because I mean, I suspect that I have a connective tissue disorder, which is another good reason for me to do hypertrophic exercise instead of strength exercise, because that will make it to where I'm less likely to injure my connective tissues. I'm not sure that I have a connective tissue disorder, but I probably should go ahead and act like it because it's pretty likely. The vacuum pose thing they do is weird. Like, where are your organs? It's disgusting. Oh my God. What's up, Knox? I've seen plenty of lefties in the gym. However, I work in a paramilitary environment. Everyone who can works out. I mean, that's true. All of the veins, all of the veins. We should definitely promote this within leftism. Eat more food. Lift more weights. I went to the grocery store on the way home. It was pretty great. I'm gonna eat a pizza later. Wow, I'm so excited about that pizza I'm gonna eat later. I think I can't really reach a fit body, but I can definitely shoot for a powerlifter body. Do it. If you could have a body of like one of those like Scottish men who like lift and throw rocks, because those boys are thick boys. They got bellies on them. I learned a bit about the technique though, because otherwise, oh wait, what? Oh yeah, the vacuum pose thing. I learned a bit about that technique because I take nudes. Yeah, that's fair enough. My need to be strong conflicts with my want to be slender and small. You can be strong and slender and small. You just gotta do calisthenics, you know? Just do low weight, high repetition. And then you'll be strong, but you'll be lean. You'll be lean. And then honestly, if you do want to do a little bit of strength training, just do like fewer than 5 repetitions of almost your maximum, like push it to the limit, and then you'll build strength but not bulk. Yeah, exactly, the tree tossing, precisely. Fuck yeah, the Scottish Games. Left-wing preppers are a good thing too. I mean, honestly. Oh man, that's gross. Oh, do any of you think that reacting to TikToks is a thing that we should do on stream? Because I've seen some fellow creators talking about how it's like pretty lucrative right now to do like reacting to TikToks videos. Is that a thing that I should do? Should we receive TikTok submissions? Best sports, lift heavy shit in different ways. True. Yeah, exactly, Icarus. You can actually get really strong without having big muscles. You just gotta... I'm watching you. I knew that you were doing that. I knew it. I knew it. Oh, gosh. I'm a little over TikTok reactions. I mean, yeah, it's for the almighty algorithm. It's not really something that would be for stream. That would be mostly, like, for the purpose of uploading on the channel later, you know? I'm a left-wing pepper, is a bell pepper. Ooh, I have some bell peppers in the fridge. I should eat them. What kind of TikToks? I don't know. Isabel Pepper. True, that's a great main character name in a novel. I should write a novel, and the main character's name is going to be Isabel Prepper. Isabel Pepper, not Prepper. Bleh. Isabel Pepper. Oh no. TikToks where they're reacting to a video and then just go off on a leftist rant about abortion or something. That would be funny. Chicken butt, Baphomet. Chicken butt is what I say to that. Ooh, hit 76 on my Druid and WoW Classic. I don't think I've opened WoW in like a week. This is how seriously I am not taking it easy right now. I think that I've decided, okay, Saturdays actually have to be a day off. I just was setting a new work schedule for this week. Like, I'm trying a new work schedule, and I got a little app where I can clock in when I start working on editing and shit. So yeah, and I realized, like, yeah, I keep doing this thing where just because like I spread out my work over the course of the week, and I keep putting Saturday as a work day, and I'm like, I don't know if I should keep doing that, because like I basically just keep scheduling myself for 7-day work weeks, even though, like, I guess because I'm thinking to myself like, well, I don't work enough hours each day to justify having a whole day off, because I end up spending so much of my other time during the week like going to the gym or like working on tutoring, which is not something that is really making me very much money. Still can't afford the really fast flying. Yeah, it'll take a while to afford the fast flying. Is 28 too young to get a cane? No. I have a walking stick. I don't use it very often, but I have a walking stick. I have like a week of freeze-dried meals and my own small armory, so I'm a lefty prepper as well. Nice. Yeah, Knox, camping was okay, but I ended up having like some noisy camping neighbors who kind of ruined the experience a little bit, so I ended up leaving at like midnight. But other than that, it was great. I make 1K a day without trying or thinking about it. I do actually need to get back on WoW and learn how to do some of these make money quick things so that I can afford with in-gold money to buy more time when it comes time for that. What's up, Corbarian? Says, I've been thinking of a theory that toxic masculinity traits correspond to positive masculinity traits. So like prepping would be an example of positive masculinity while hoarding would be the negative. Well, so actually I think that prepping itself can be done like for toxic masculine reasons. Like I guess it's the manner in which you do prepping, right? Because I definitely see some of these weird men who are like society is gonna fall apart, and you know, you got to be out there. You got to be ready for anything. You got to be prepared to shoot people in case they want to come steal your stuff. You got to be ready to protect your family. Like, honestly, some of prepping seems like the most extreme example of some of these guys' like fantasies of power and like stepping up to protect the family. And you got to go out there in the wilderness and get your, you know, you got to go out there and hunt your food, and you got to fish the oceans. And like, honestly, I think that a lot of prepping is pretty obviously toxic masculinity, toxic masculine anxiety. They want a reason to shoot someone. Yeah, exactly. There's a worrying amount of people who seem to want the world end. Yeah, the like people who think that there's going to be a rapture soon or whatever. People wander around parks and disturb others, yet I spark a joint in private and people lose their shit. Yeah, it's true. I will defend my family from the blacks and the gays who will come to kill us. Exactly. The problem with the apocalypse being that it appeals to the male power fantasy is a fun thought. You never thought of that before. That's what you come to the Luxander stream for, is like you come here to think about things you ain't never thought about. Toxic masculinity is thinking you'd thrive in the zombie apocalypse. True. A lot of these guys are the ones who show up to drag shows. Civil War preppers will buy a bunch of guns because they think they look cool, but when I counter-protested one of their things, I had to sit down after an hour. Not very prepped. Protecting myself from unhinged rednecks and wild animals. Both critters are rather similar. What's your zombie escape plan, y'all? Like, y'all, I don't even know what I would do at this point. Because I feel like the only thing to do is to go on an island. Like, I think the only thing that you could realistically do to be safe would be on an island. But now that we've seen how people act in the middle of a pandemic is, like, probably gonna die. Is all of us probably gonna die? Or, like, yeah, suicide, run directly into the zombies. I don't think that that's the definition of hoarding as I understand it, Corbarian. I need my HRT. If society collapses, I'm out of here. That's fair enough. I don't need HRT that way, but I completely understand. What book is it where zombies can literally just walk to islands on the ocean floor? I don't know. It's Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, geez. Yeah, I don't really think about zombie apocalypse stuff that much anymore. Sometimes my partner and I will talk about it, but I don't know. The world is so realistically about to fucking catch on fire, that I don't. It's like, it's not like a fun esoteric thing. I mean, the zombie part is like a fun esoteric thing, I guess. But like an impending societal collapse and a need to defend my life from my fellow citizens who view me as a threat, despite the fact that I did nothing to hurt them, like, it's a little too real, you know? I will lead the zombie horde to Jeff Bezos. Yeah, I'll take him down with me. I used to watch zombie movies and think, no way people would be this dumb, and now I owe all those movies an apology. True. Oh my God. Like, I am starting to branch out a little bit with my acceptable risks that I'm taking with COVID, even though it is still, like, pretty dangerous. Like, I go to the gym now. I wear a very good mask. And I stay away from people while I'm at the gym. But I go to the gym and I'm working out and I'm breathing heavy for like an hour. Almost every day now. Like, well, I guess like 4 days a week I'm going to be doing that. Dashi, thank you. Thank you for the $5 dono. Said don't have a lot to give. But come on, chat. Reloading. Don't have a lot to give, but please tell Sebi I love him and remind him to draw couch pic. Sebi, you heard what Dashi said. Draw the picture. And also convey the loves. Thank you. It is my birthday month, and I appreciate y'all hanging out, and appreciate your donos and your likes. Go ahead and hit like, y'all, because we are about to start talking about more serious things here momentarily. I probably should go ahead and grab more water. I've already lived through AIDS and Y2K and 2012, and they keep promising the end of the world and keep not delivering. Yeah, I mean, this one that is happening now feels a little bit more imminent, like the rise of fascism in the country and the not being safe and the being arrested for, you know, being in public dressed as your correct gender and stuff. Like, it's a little bit too real. I also feel like, evolutionarily speaking, a zombie apocalypse doesn't make sense, but you also never know what could happen. So, yeah, if you weren't here, we've already kind of like discussed this recently. I was watching a video. I'm going to look for links while I'm thinking about this. I was watching a video recently about, it was basically a guy talking about, you know, those parasitic fungus things that inhabit bugs. Like that fungus will get inside a bug and then the bug will start doing weird behaviors and like they'll climb up they'll climb up a stalk of grass in order for the spores to be up higher and reach farther. So like there are fungi that can infect living things and alter their behavior, and you know, it's basically like it is sort of a living thing but not really. And normally we don't have to worry about this as humans because we have a lot higher body temperature than bugs, right? So normally this is not a huge issue. Except, what if there was a evolutionary pressure on fungi? I haven't been watching The Last of Us. I haven't. I know what it's about, though. But what if there were an evolutionary pressure for fungi to live in higher temperatures? Like, for example, what if the global temperature was slowly increasing, creating evolutionary pressure for fungi to survive higher temperatures? We might be fucked, y'all. Like, we might be fucked. It is so hard to get rid of mycelial infections. Like, it's not going to be good. If it ever goes that way, it's not going to be good. No thank you, smiley face. From celebrity guest. Oh my god, that was funny. Just no thank you. I'm good. You got me. Climate change really is the underlying factor. I've heard it described as the polycrisis, when climate change and other systems fail simultaneously and create compounding and stochastic effects that we are unable to predict. Maybe it's not going to happen, but evolution doesn't really work like that either, but it does. Like if like there are mushrooms that like don't reproduce well in certain temperature ranges, and so like you'll have like funguses, you'll have like fungus, like the ones that can live in higher temperatures will live, and the ones that can't live in those temperatures will die off. So there's like the more of them that reproduce are going to be like the ones that are resistant. And there's a possibility that one of those ones that will survive in the higher temperatures and like thus continue to like, developing a parasitic lifestyle is a lot harder. Yeah, no, I'm saying like, what if it's one of the ones that already is a parasitic lifestyle? Like, you know, there's more than one of those. Bacteria can evolve pretty fast, but how complex are fungi compared to single-celled organisms? Yeah, I don't actually know what kind of timescale mushrooms evolve on, but I do know that there are like so many different kinds of fungi that like they certainly evolve a lot, you know? Cottagecore people are going to be devastated. The thing they love the most will be their peril. I'm into it. I'm into the aesthetic of the death and decay and the mushrooms. Parasitizing a mammal in a mental way is very hard. That's fair. We have way more complicated brains than the like signal senders of the bug guys, the bug boys. Yeah, it's true. When you get taken over by the evil mushrooms, you do become a pretty fun guy, though. What? Brain fungus? Just a week away? Soon. Oh, wait, more of The Last of Us? More of it? Wait, what? Technically, C. diff is a fungi? Oh, okay. All right, I was going to look at something really quick. We talk about these serious issues on stream sometimes. We got to talk about serious issues on stream. It's a serious time to be alive, and it's not really fun. Not having fun. I feel like they'd start on smaller mammals first, so hopefully we'd become aware of that and start working on cures ASAP. Hopefully. Yeah, some dudes' brains are already controlled by mushrooms, if you know what I'm saying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Human pathogenic fungi in the soil is already migrating and proliferating more due to climate change and are causing severe respiratory and other infections at higher rates. Don't like it. Who up playing with a mushroom? Did I show you? I think I showed you guys this last week. I'm still trying to figure out the details. Or I showed you this on Sunday, maybe. I have one of these. I'm making a packer. Because I want a packer that doesn't have a set of balls on it. And so I made this. And I'm trying to figure out how to put it in my pants. Like, how to attach it. Yeah, Pog Packer modding. Yeah. Yarn cock. The only thing about this is that it is rather, it's rather inflexible. Like, it's not like a soft... I mean, yeah, it doesn't have anything in it right now, but, like, once has a sock stuffed in it or whatever, it's gonna be, like, and not, like, soft. You know what I mean? So, but it was the only yarn that I had that was the correct size. It's very comfy if you pin it to your boxers just right. Yeah, I guess I was thinking that's probably gonna end up being the solution, is... I mean, I was just hoping to find a way to get it, like, flat against my body, but it'll probably end up having to just be, like, pinned to my underwear. Def put it in a little pouch. But if it's in the pouch, like, how do you prevent it from twisting sideways? Or, like, crunching up? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, I've been packing for so long. Let me know if you need to learn how to tuck it. Truly. I will never be able to tuck because tucking will just be like a deeply horny experience of like one genital smushing on another genital. I heard about an awful barnacle one that infects crabs. It literally grows root-like structures inside of the crab, attaches itself to where the crab normally keeps its own eggs, and then tricks it into taking care of the parasites as if it were the crab's own babies. That's funny. Yeah. If I died from a zombie apocalypse after being such a fan of The Walking Dead and The Last of Us, I might actually believe in a god and imagine them laughing at us for making it, for making that in our form of entertainment. It stays in the same pouch. The pouch itself just slides around a little bit. I have never seen a pouch that would not result in, like, listen, if you have like balls attached to this thing, that like helps weigh it down and keep it like in location, right? But there's nothing to keep it from doing all this bullshit. So what I think I'm gonna end up doing is just get like a clothespin and take like the top of it, because this is the top of it, and just clothespin it to the front of my underwear. And like, then that, yeah. Would it be indecent if your yarn cock was poking out of your fly asking for a friend? I don't think it would, I don't know, would it legally be indecent exposure? That's a question that I have. Crab autism. Yeah, balls where the pee is stored. That turf flash in the audience wasn't. I think I agree with Mama Mephistopheles. I bet it would depend on how realistic the packer is. If it was one of the ones that I have that's like skin tone, I think that would probably not be okay. But since this one is just like an angry red color, I think it would probably be okay. Although it might still be considered some kind of harassment. It depends on where you live, of course. Wouldn't a knitted cock sock be itchy? I'd be itchy. It depends on what it's made out of. Not all... Like, some scarves are itchy, but other scarves aren't, you know? Angry PP activated. Yeah. Didn't Steve-O piss on random people with a realistic fake dick once? I don't know. People see that thing poking out and they're like, oh my god, you need to go to the ER. Cotton would be comfy. Agreed. Yeah, I don't know what this is made out of because I don't have it anymore. Like, I don't have the oh god, like the wrapper that says what it's made out of. Don't have that anymore. I don't think it's, I don't know. It seems like it's very like not stretchy, which makes me think it's probably cotton. But I'm making it in such a way that it's going to be easy to clean. Like, I'm making this thing, and it's just going to be hollow, and I'm going to stick a sock in there. And then, like, so that I'll be able to very easily wash it. What if you sewed a little face on there? I could do that, but I don't want to. I think it would be pretty funny if I did that on the underside. Like, if it was so, like, I don't have to look at it, but if it was on the underside, it's going to get a little bit more detail work here to make it look like the underside. And then if I just put like a couple of eyes right underneath there. So it's like you would only be able to see it if you were from the worm's eye view, you know? Did you know that you can buy packers that have piercings? I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised by it. Hey, my eyes are down here. Googly eyes? I could do googly eyes. My partner packs with a smiling stuffed chili pepper. That's funny. Exactly, Andes. Precisely. Anyway, I'm gonna grab a water really quick. So if you have not had a water yet in this stream, we've been going for a little while. Get yourself some water. Maybe get yourself a little sneaky snack. I might grab myself like a handful of nuts, because a handful of nuts is a healthy snack. And I'll be back momentarily. If you have not yet hit like on the stream, hit like on the stream. And when I get back, we're going to actually start talking about important things that matter. Okay? Okay? We'll finally start talking about important things that matter. Even though I like dicking around. Dicking around is still one of my favorite things to do. Okay, IBRB. Okay. I got a handful of nuts. It's a healthy snack. I got walnuts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a handful of nuts. Yeah, you can combo dicks without actually having the... Yeah, for sure. That's beneficial. Okay. So... Let me get my notes together here. You're all so dirty. Okay, so first of all, I wanna hold on. Shush. I wanna show this to you first of all, really quick. I hope that I don't get in trouble for this, but here.
Were you excited to play Bowser?
Yeah.
Were you excited to play Bowser?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. I just wanted to show you that because I saw it on Twitter and I thought it was really funny. Yeah. He's so great. I love him. Oh yeah, we have all kinds of shit to talk about today, actually. Now that I'm getting my notes up. These are walnuts. They're not salted, though, which kind of sucks. Ah, but it's fine. Icarus says he should just be like that in the movie green screened. How much do you want to bet, guys, that he was wearing that costume during the voice acting? Like, how much do you want to bet that he was wearing that costume while they were doing voiceover? I actually like pecans a lot more than walnuts, but they were more expensive at the store. And then, like, yeah, for some reason, when you get, like, salted mixed nuts, you can get salted pecans and walnuts in those, but when you go to individually buy, like, walnuts or pecans, they're not fucking salted. It's so irritating. And I'm doing the low FODMAP thing, so I am not eating cashews or pistachios right now, but pistachios and cashews might be my favorites. It's hard to love something that gives you, like, really weird poops, you know? It's like, I love cashews, but, ugh, man. Ugh. Almonds are hella mid. I don't like almonds. And also, almonds are, like, terrible for the environment, dude. I think it's because most people use walnuts / pecans in baking. Fuck. You're probably not wrong. God damn it, though. It's annoying. So I just want to do a little bit of an update really quick. This part of the show is not going to be too long, so if you're annoyed by it, don't go anywhere. But we're going to do a little bit of a COVID talk, just a little bit, like a short update. Here's where we're at with COVID right now, because the CDC has just released some new information. This is not like random bullshit. This is actually from the CDC. We've had an update here. And that update is that there is emerging evidence suggesting that severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, so COVID-19 is like the name of the sickness, the like symptoms, and then SARS-CoV-2 is the virus, right? So the virus can have lasting effects on nearly every organ and organ system of the body for weeks, months, and potentially years after infection. But this is basically saying the CDC is outright stating now that like the long COVID stuff that we've been seeing, that is damage to your body done by SARS-CoV-2. Like that is measurable damage done, and this is going to impact the entire body and not be good. Like it's not a good time. So documented serious post-COVID-19 conditions include cardiovascular, pulmonary, neurological, renal, endocrine, hematological, and gastrointestinal complications, as well as death. So the CDC quietly added this update in February to the guidance, to its guidance for certifying deaths due to COVID-19. What is this? Emerging evidence suggests that that SARS, this is just the quote. This is just the screenshot of the quote that we just read. Let's see. Since so many businesses, doctors, and people in general base their risk assessment on what the CDC says, let's share this new guidance with them. So you should be taking this very seriously, not just because I said so, but also because COVID is bad according to the CDC. Yeah, this is another massive, holy cow, huge piece of news. So this is probably going to only get 10 likes and disappear down the Twitter hole. Yeah. And then another thing that I wanted you to take a look at here is that life expectancy has dropped dramatically across the world. And this decline in life expectancy also continues throughout 2022 and 23. It's unlikely to end on its own. So life expectancy is just, wow. And it looks like it dropped in America the most, or in the Americas the most. Like Europe had a shorter drop. Africa had a much shorter drop. Yeah. It's so interesting. Like, look at how close all these data points are. Like, all these dots are so close to each other. And then look at these with these, like, massively long lines in between them. Like, life expectancy has been on an upward trajectory consistently across the world. And now it's like, nope. Nope. So yeah, I didn't really have a lot to add to that, but it's terrible. Like COVID, like third leading cause of death in the United States. Yeah, that's a pretty significant drop. Hello, Gayfish. Hello. Hope that you are well. What's up, Igor? Yeah, I saw that you had messaged right at the end of the last chat as well. Welcome to the website. Excuse me. I saw this graph. What was the big drop in Asia in the late 50s? Yeah, I am not sure. It's the world and Asia. So I guess like Asia dropped, and so that brought the whole world's numbers down. Yeah, what happened? This was in the 1960s. This is like right smack in the middle between 1950 and 1970. So what the fuck happened there? I am not sure. For me, it's the lead and heavy metal exposure. Why would they teach soldering in a non-ventilated space? Oh, was it from radiation fallout? Or I wonder if maybe it was like plastics manufacturing started then? That's a great question. Why was there a population drop in Asia in 1960? Was there a famine? Yeah, Juniper. The gays, the gays, 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 gays. Oh, yeah. So the last time China's population declined was in 1961 after 3 years of famine caused by Mao Zedong's disastrous Great Leap Forward. So there was a famine there. Might as well get happy and fat from snacks while I'm alive. I mean, one of the great things about working out is, and like the fact that I'm trying to put on muscle, is that I actually have to eat like 2,100 calories a day. Like, sorry to bother anybody who has like eating disorder issues, but like I just am not hungry enough to eat. It's a job. I'm like, God, I actually have to force myself to eat food. And especially on the low FODMAP diet, I don't have the ability to just eat bread. You know, I'm trying not to eat bread. I'm not on the full elimination diet yet because I still have milk and stuff at home and I'm like chipping my way through it. But I have reduced the number of those things that I'm eating, and it has made a bit of a difference in the quality of my poops. Although, yeah, I should have gotten a call back either yesterday or today about scheduling an appointment, but they still haven't called me back. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm not going back to the clinic that gave me my IUD ever again. And I'm just going to get it removed by someone else. And then that'll be another thing that is no longer contributing to my cramps. Yay. Can you eat yummy foods or just carrots? How dare you delineate between yummy food and carrots? Are you serious? Roast some carrots with olive oil, salt, and pepper and tell me that carrots don't taste good. Put carrots in a pot roast with some potatoes and the beef and let it marinate there for 8 hours and tell me that carrots aren't good. Raw carrots can be good. I'm not like the biggest fan because of the texture. But like even raw carrots can be good. Hey, there's 69 concurrent viewers. Nice. Can we get some more likes to correspond? That would be cool. Yeah, roast carrot. Like, listen, roast carrot has no business being so delicious. Did you know every part of the carrot is edible? I think I did know that. I don't know if there are as much. Yeah, like I've seen people make carrot greens, but I don't know if they are, I don't know how nutritious they are. I do also know that you can cut the carrot off, like you can cut the head off of the carrot and like leave the greens on it and like stick it back in the ground and it'll root down again and make more carrot. Eat the whole apple, core and all. Oh my God, don't do that. Technically, every part of the apple is edible except the stem. You're not supposed to eat the seeds. I thought that the seeds were like cyanide or something. Is that true? Or is that like an old wives' tale? Ooh, baby carrots cooked with cinnamon, honey, and butter. Ooh, I don't like honey, but I could see doing that with like cinnamon, brown sugar, and butter. Oh boy, that would be good. Oh man. Oh, I need to make that. Oh, that sounds good. Yes, they are cyanide. Oh, arsenic. I don't believe in horticulture. That regrowing thing is an op. I used to have salt and vinegar on cucumber as a snack. Ooh, Phoebe, that's a great idea. Because, like, you're not supposed to eat, like, ranch on the low FODMAP. Again, I have not actually gotten to the point where I've eliminated these foods. I was with your food takes until you dissed honey. I wish I liked honey. I keep trying. I just don't really like it that much. I don't dislike it. I just don't really like it. There's like a distinction between those two concepts as well. Like I dislike coconut, but I don't like honey, which means that I will still try it and taste it and stuff, but it's just not my favorite. But yeah, so Phoebe, I've been trying to figure out, like, you know, what else are you supposed to do? Yeah, I don't like coconut. I'm sorry, I don't. I keep trying. You're supposed to, like your taste buds can change over time, or you can become accustomed to things. So every once in a while, there will be a dessert on the table and someone's like, oh yeah, that just has some coconut on top. And I'm like, I know that I don't like coconut, but I'm going to try the dessert anyway and see how it goes. And it just consistently, I just don't like it. I really dislike it. So you could take like vinegar and salt, and what else could you put in a low FODMAP friendly like sauce for cucumbers, or like bell peppers? I have some bell peppers and I do like to eat bell peppers by themselves, but could you also take some like vinegar? The only thing about like using a vinegar, I guess I could just make a vinaigrette, because if you use a pre-made vinaigrette, then if you use like a pre-made vinaigrette, then they usually will have garlic in there and like onion, and that's not good for low FODMAP. What are your opinions on mayonnaise, black olives, black licorice, cilantro, and artichokes? I used to be really grossed out by mayonnaise, but I like it better now. Oh shit. Oh, god damn it. I actually meant to buy fucking mustard when I was at the store, because I've been wanting to make deviled eggs, and deviled eggs is basically just like the egg yolk and mayonnaise and mustard and like vinegar. That's it. That's how you make deviled eggs. And I've been really wanting to do that. Because, like, yeah, I think I do like mayo. I used to not, and now I do. I like black olives okay. My go-to pizza, y'all, used to be pepperoni and black olive pizza. That was my go-to. And I still get that sometimes, but I just don't like black olives as much now because I really like green olives. I'm a big fan of green olives now. It's fine with the pimento. We got some really good olive, like a jar of a mixture of different olives, and there were these ones that the skin and stuff was kind of loose on them, so when you ate it, like, it had the pit in it, but the pit was pretty easy to get out of it, and they were so good. It was a really fatty, oily brine that they were in. It was like clearly not just vinegar. There was like a lot of olive oil in it. Or I don't even know if it was olive oil. Does olive oil like chunk up in the refrigerator? Later, Icarus. Yeah, I understand. Icarus, come back on Sunday, because we start at 12 U.S. Central Time on Sunday. So if you're over in Europe, you should be able to hang out with us on Sundays. What other... So, black licorice. I have not actually had black licorice. I've had Jägermeister, and Jägermeister is like, meh. Cilantro tastes like soap. I can tolerate it to some extent, but I don't love it. It does kind of ruin the bite for me. If I've just taken a bite of my burrito and it has cilantro in it, I'm like, well, that sucks a little bit. But it's fine. I'm still enjoying the fact that I have a burrito, you know? And then artichokes. The only time I've ever had artichoke is in like spinach artichoke dip, and spinach artichoke dip is like a cream cheesy thing. So obviously I thought that was delicious, but I don't actually know if I like artichokes. Maybe it depends on the type of olive oil being used. Ooh, you guys want a decadent pizza? Try grilled chicken breast, bacon, and pineapple bits on a regular pizza. Wow, that sounds so good. My favorite example to bring up of the whitest thing I've ever seen is visiting my ex's family, and her mom warned everyone that the deviled eggs had paprika on them. That's especially funny because I just recently learned that paprika is literally just smoked bell pepper. It's like red bell pepper that's been ground up into like dehydrated, ground up into a powder and smoked. So it's like the sweetest pepper and then smoked, and then it's a color. That's all it adds to your... It doesn't add spice. It adds like a little bit of a smoky flavor and the color, and that's it. Yes, I have the cilantro genetics. It's not great. I didn't even know until like 2019, which is weird. Like I was like 25 before I knew that I didn't like cilantro. Cause like it can fade into a bite of other stuff. If you're eating, you know, like if you're eating salsa, you can have a bite that has other stuff in it, and it kind of like mixes. Someone asked earlier if I can eat tomato. I can eat tomato. I'm not supposed to eat tomato sauce. Yo, buffalo chicken is so fucking good. Buffalo chicken pizza. Yo, buffalo chicken pizza is so good. Hola. Hello, Christy. Hey, how are you, Gorge? My cousin didn't know raisins were grapes until he was 19. This is why public school is a failure, okay? Oh my God. Salsa verde has cilantro in it, but I can't taste it. Right. I can't really eat salsa right now unless I make it because most salsa has garlic and onion in it, and I'm trying to avoid those. The cilantro thing changed for me. I wonder if it changed. Like, I wonder if maybe I actually didn't used to have the issue and then it, like, switched on. Because I really genuinely had no idea what, like, my grandma was talking about when she was like, I don't want to eat that salsa. It has cilantro in it. It's like, it's such a fucking pain when you love Mexican food, but you don't like cilantro. Or Indian food. I like Indian food, but almost every single Indian dish at the restaurant that I usually get Indian from, like, they sprinkle cilantro on top, and it's like, please stop. Why are you all shitting on paprika? It's one of Satoshi Kon's best films. Oh no. It's when there are big pieces of uncut cilantro leaf that gets me. It's the stems for me. It's the stems of the cilantro that gets me for sure. Yeah, I know coriander leaves are the same thing as cilantro. You just call it coriander. You call it coriander or coriander seeds. We just call the seeds coriander. Paprika does have a flavor, but it's just, it does have a flavor. It's just not spicy, you know? Oh, holy shit, Christy. I hope that gets resolved quickly. Holy shit. That doesn't sound like a good medication for them to be late on. It is genetic if you think cilantro tastes soapy. If it tastes like soap, you are tasting the base in it. Yeah, there is some kind of chemical in it that is just quite similar in composition to soap. I don't like curry because it tastes weird. So actually, it's weird that I like Indian food because it actually has two things going against it for me. And that's that the base a lot of the time is coconut milk. And they often have cilantro in them. So it's like, Jesus. Okay. Well, Kyle's mom is big bad. She's the biggest in the whole wide world. Yo, okay, so this is crazy. I have been saying for a while that amidst all this talk of, oh, trans women are going to dominate women's sports. They're going to make it so that cis women can't win anymore. There's going to be no such thing as a women's category anymore. It's been my opinion that I actually think that human beings are like barely sexually dimorphic, and that like if you were to eliminate the male and female split, what you would probably find is that men will generally win when strength is relevant, and women will generally win when stamina is the relevant factor, like when endurance is the relevant factor. I really do think that the main reason why men and women's sports is kept separate is to reinforce the idea of male supremacy and to like just reinforce the idea that like, oh, the women they can never be strong enough to overthrow the power of the patriarchy. They're subservient. They're kept separate but equal for their own good. It's like inherently very patronizing, right? It is just inherently extremely patronizing. And I think that we're seeing some actual proof of this thing that I said, because this story passed along my way. There was an Alabama girls basketball team which was denied the championship after being forced to play in the boys' league and then winning. So the trophy was instead given to the team that came in second. The Alabama youth girls basketball team was told that they would lose their practice facility unless they agreed to play in a boys' league. Like, first of all, why was that the situation? And then they went on to win the whole thing and were denied the championship trophy. Instead, the trophies were given to the boys who, to be clear, were beaten by the girls in the league final, according to the mother of one of the girls. So this mother is named Jamie, and she says these girls have played together for 3 years for a competitive girls' league representing Spain Park. All of them are fifth graders in the Hoover school system. Halfway through their season, they were told they could not use the Hoover gyms for their practices unless they paid to play in the Hoover Rec League. They were told to stay together as a team. They were told that in order to stay together as a team, they had to play up a level in competition and play the 5th grade boys. The girls were middle of the pack throughout the season, losing several close games by 1 point. Playing the boys was a challenge that they rose to meet. It made them better players and a better team. Weird how that works. Weird how that works, isn't it? Like, it's kind of like how statistically, if you have like a girl taking a test who is reminded of the stereotype that girls are bad at math right before she takes the test, she performs worse than a girl who wasn't reminded of that stereotype right before she took the test. Like, literally, that's been studied and been looked at. So obviously, if you put girls in a situation where they can compete against boys, they're going to push harder. Like, and they're going to succeed in a way that they might not otherwise. Like, they're actually going to feel the need to rise to the occasion. So yeah, whatever. They were told before the championship that they could play in it, but if they won, they wouldn't be allowed to have the trophy. Yeah, so these 5th graders played their hearts out, left it all on the floor, and battled their male counterparts only to be told, no, I'm sorry, you don't count. Yeah, so I guess they knew before they even started. They were told before the championship that they could play in it. Well, it's not even that they could play in it. They were like, you have to play in this league in order to have access to the facility, but you're not allowed to take home the championship. I'm guessing that there isn't a girls' league in this area. Like, I'm trying to figure out also, like, I'm getting the impression that there just isn't a girls' basketball league in Alabama. So they were told that they would lose their regular practice facility unless they played in a boys' league. The team did so, worked their asses off, won the boys' league, were denied the championship, ostensibly simply because they were girls and they're not allowed to have the... Yeah, it's like 5th grade, so they're like 9 or 10 years old, roughly. Yeah, the male entitlement is staggering, as is the remarkable lack of awareness in the lesson this teaches both young men and women. Let's see if there's anything else in here. On Wednesday, March 1st, the City of Hoover and the Hoover Parks and Recreation Board became aware of concerns about a recent youth basketball tournament. We are currently working to provide proper recognition to all the teams that were successful in that tournament. Also, we are reviewing the full extent of what occurred to ensure all future programs are handled appropriately. Now that I've learned the concept of non-performative speech, I can only read this in the context of it being like, oh yeah, we're looking into it. And by saying you're looking into it, like that stands in for the action, and then they don't actually follow through and perform an action. It's crazy. What else is in here? After this piece went to publication, Deadspin learned of a policy that may go some of the way towards explaining what happened here. The policy has been in place for years. Hats off to this team for winning the championship. It's unfortunate that they couldn't get the trophy, but it sounds like Hoover is going to make it right by honoring the girls. The same thing happened to a boys team. So I guess it's like, I don't really understand why are you required to play in this particular league? Why weren't they playing in this particular league in the first place? There's some details that I'm not really sure about here. Since Hoover has limited gym space and high demand for practice facilities, it makes it extremely difficult to accommodate everyone. Hoover's policy has always been, if you want to use a Hoover gym for practice, then you must participate in the rec league. Most coaches want to keep their OTM team together and play them in the rec league. Since this would be an unfair advantage because most of the OTM teams are comprised of the best players, they are required to play, quote, up by 2 grade levels. In this case, the girls are in 5th grade, and there is no 7th grade girls rec league, so they had to play against the 5th grade boys. I guess like some teams get more practice. I don't know what OTM means. In the past, and I'm sure here too, the league tells the coaches well in advance that you can sit out the tournament or you can play, but you will not get a trophy. In the 15 plus years I have coached, I've never seen a team win it all playing up, so the congratulations to these girls and the coaches for winning the championship, trophy or no trophy there. I just think this is stupid. Like, if you're playing up, like that's what this person was saying there. Like, if you've never seen a team win it all playing up, so they're playing against people they would not normally be playing against. So if there were 5th graders playing against 7th grade girls, which is how it would normally go, they also wouldn't be able to win the trophy. But that just seems dumb. Prior to puberty, there's hardly any advantage. Like why would you not just have co-ed teams until puberty anyway? Because there's no difference between children's physicality. Yeah, why are there dumb rules about the trophy? Just give it to whoever wins. It's like you even more earned it by being like a 10-year-old playing against 12-year-olds and winning against the team of 12-year-olds. Like, the difference between a 12-year-old girl and a 10-year-old girl is much, 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 much bigger than the difference between a 10-year-old girl and a 10-year-old boy. Don't girls have more of an advantage than boys due to earlier onset of puberty? Potentially, yeah, I'm not even sure. Yeah, like this is literally the entire reason that women's sports exist. Yeah, we kind of like touched on that before I got into the article. But like, yeah, this is just a very clear indication. I mean, they're like, oh, it's policy. You know, if they had played against 7th grade girls, they also wouldn't have won. It's just a dumb policy. Like, and it so happens that your dumb policy in this instance also happened to be sexist. Like, why is there a boys league versus a girls league at age 10? You should just have them all playing against each other, and then one team brings home the championship. And in this case, it would have been these girls. What's up, Amy? Weight and height make more of a difference than gender. Exactly. That's why we have weight classes in things like wrestling, because those things are the things that actually make a big difference in sports. But yeah, if you cannot limit trans girls from a sport because they're tall, and not like limit Gwendolyn Christie, you know, Brienne of Tarth, you know, Captain Phasma, Gwendolyn Christie. She's like more than 6 feet tall. If you want to like limit trans women because of their bone density and height and big hearts, then you also have to limit cisgender women who have those same traits. And of course they're not going to do that. This just get rid of the classifications. Just make it like co-ed, all of them. And if you have an issue with it being like co-ed because you're like, oh, there's going to be advantages because men on average are taller and weigh more, then fucking put in weight and height classes. Easy. But no, of course. It's too much of a threat to male supremacy, and it's never going to happen. Three fried eggs with a light dusting of smoked paprika and celery salt. Ooh, I discovered something recently, and that's that I hate cold eggs. I tried to prep. I boiled some eggs, and then I put them in the refrigerator because I was only going to eat 2 of them, but I went ahead and boiled 6. And then I went to eat one of those eggs today and was like, I might throw up. Like, cold eggs, bad taste, bad texture. Don't like it. But what do? The eggs are cold now. Like, they're boiled eggs and they're cold now. What do I do with them? I guess I could just cut them and I could cut it in half and throw it in ramen. Cold eggs are from the devil. It's true. Feed to cats. The only cat that I have access to is really overweight, and I don't think... I guess I could like crumble it over a salad or something. Chop up, smother in cheese, microwave. It's just already cooked though. I love cold boiled eggs. I think I used to, but wow, it changed. Only scrambled eggs are acceptable. A still warm, freshly boiled, medium boiled egg, chef's kiss. If it's like that jammy texture in the middle and it's like still soft and maybe a little bit gooey right in the actual like very center, but it's like that vibrant dark orange color. So good. Over easy eggs are a gift from the heavens. I mean, yeah, you get your bacon and you dip the bacon in the yolk, and you take your toast and you dip the toast in the yolk. And then if you have some like shredded hash browns, you can like You can like cut up the yolk with all the gooiness and like mix it in with the hash browns and get the hash browns like all covered in yolk. Oh my God. Can you tell, like, where am I at? Where are my goals for today? Girl, you're making my speakers go boom, boom. Oh, so I think that unless something comes up, I want to do karaoke night on Friday this week. So I'm going to add a role in the Discord server. If you're not already a member of the Discord server, hit the link in the description, or if you're on the website, it's in the top top left for you guys. And yeah, dude, I'm supposed to eat 2,172 calories today, and I have only had like 850 of those calories because I ate the handful of nuts earlier. And so I still need to eat 1,400 calories today. Like, I still need to eat so much food. When is the debut album coming out? If you know someone who like needs a voice, I will do that for a nominal fee. I just don't write music is the thing. I'm still learning piano and like learning music theory on a very basic level. But I've had that song stuck in my head all day. There is do y'all know the country mashup? I don't think I can play it on stream because it has so many different individual copyrighted parts in it, but I will sing it during karaoke night. The premise of the song is like, here's like 6 country songs that were separated at birth, and here they're reunited, and the dude like spliced the lyrics and like the guitar parts and stuff for 6 different country songs altogether. Which is, it makes it pretty interesting when you go to the grocery store and you hear one of the songs and you're like, nope, that's wrong. Oh boy. Butter and peanut butter toast slaps so hard. Oh, okay. Buttered peanut butter toast. I've never had that. It does sound good. Dizzy, I think that Twitter made me unfollow you because I saw your replies were not showing up in my mentions, and I was like, why? Oh, you got suspended? Well, yeah, but you got suspended, and then when you came back... Oh, this is a new account. Okay, I see. Okay, I got you. You naughty. Naughty. I can't sing, and some of my rap songs may need some vocals. Dizzy got suspended for being too based. Were you flirting? Were you flirting with the TOS? Is that what you were doing? Yummy water. Oh my god. It's fine to just have fruit for breakfast, I think. On the low FODMAP thing, even with the fruits that are acceptable for me to eat, I'm supposed to keep it below a certain amount of stuff. Like below a certain number. Like, oh, you can have half a cup of fruit. Or like a third of a cup of fruit juice. Like, you're just supposed to keep it pretty small. Did you see Malcolm fighting people talking about DIY HRT? Yeah, so I guess let's talk about DIY HRT, because that's been a big conflict happening online. I don't really want to pull up the... should we do this properly as a segment and pull up the tweets? You can't win with FODMAP. You can't win with IBS. Yeah, so I'm doing the initial thing, Christy, where you just try to stop bringing in the foods that are potentially hurtful to you, and you completely stop having them for like 4 to 6 weeks. Give your body a chance to have a break, and then gradually introduce foods that can be triggers and find out whether they are triggers and how much of them is a trigger. So you could maybe have like a little bit of certain kinds of FODMAPs. No, it's fine. I just didn't have the DIY HRT thing on the docket for tonight because I kind of forgot about it when I was trying to put together my notes for the show today. relevant DIY HRT tweets. Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna. I think maybe I'll just talk about this off my own cuff and not try to look at other people's tweets for it. But we can like talk about the fact that there were tweets. So was it Boring Kate who kicked off this most recent conversation about it? Obviously, people are talking about DIY HRT more as it's like becoming illegal in various places. There was Boring Kate who tweeted like just DIY. It's not a big deal. Like nobody cares if you have HRT. They won't come after you for it. And I like some of the response to that was basically like, this only works for trans women. Like this is dangerous potentially to transgender men or any non-binary person taking testosterone because you like your body might not metabolize it in a way that is like good for you, and your body can metabolize it in different ways over time. Yeah, no, I mean, it actually can be dangerous. Like I personally know someone who like through Twitter, like and online, I personally know someone who is permanently disabled now after having an overdose of testosterone when he was younger or when they were younger, when he was younger. Like, and if it hadn't been caught when it would have been just like a stroke at age 22. If you take testosterone and you aren't getting your hemoglobin and stuff checked like that, it can sometimes be less dangerous than not having it. Sure, it really depends like on how bad your dysphoria is and things like that, like what your trade-off is of what's acceptable to you risk-wise. And it's also way more risky legally. Like it's a Schedule 3 drug, and yes, we are probably going to have to consider breaking the law as we go forward. You can take too much E though. Yeah, but it's like not as easy to take too much E as it is to take too much testosterone. So obviously we're going to have to consider doing things that are outside of the framework. If we want to be on HRT still and the government is increasingly making it illegal, we might have to consider doing those actions or moving to a state where it's not illegal. I'm not saying that you should do anything illegal. I'm just saying that that's realistically it's a calculation that people are increasingly having to make. So this discourse is kind of like complex. I think that this is more nuanced than people give it credit for. Because yes, I do think realistically, if you were to stick with a pretty low dose of testosterone, like if you have some testosterone and then it becomes illegal where you are, and you just still have some left over and you keep taking it, I think if you go ahead and take a fairly low dose, then you probably won't end up in a situation where you are in a danger zone. And so maybe you want to like stay on a low dose and like ration your drugs at the same time, basically. Like then you'll probably still be in a safe zone. Your progress might not be as fast, but you won't be like detransitioning. You won't be forced to stop taking your meds, right? You can probably do that relatively safely. But if you want to be on like, if your dose is, basically as high as it gets, and then at some point your body changes the way that it metabolizes testosterone, and suddenly you have a way more hemoglobin, like that could be a risk to your health. And so there was an escalation, I guess, with how the discourse went from, hey, trans masc folks need to take extra precautions because of these things. Black trans people don't have the option of doing DIY in the same way because their actions are more heavily scrutinized. So for them, it really does matter, even small things like, having like a 6-pack of beer in the back seat. If you're white, you probably will be like, yeah, that's fine. But if you're a black person, you're like, put that shit in the trunk, because if a cop sees that in the back and it's like my car, they're going to assume that I've been drinking and driving, and they'll accuse me of that. And that'll be a reason for them to search my car and like be violent toward me during the like process of determining whether I'm breaking the law or not. Yeah, so people need to be fully informed of the risks. And like, if you have a local clinic where you can get your blood levels tested, if you know what to get tested and you know what range it's supposed to be in, and if it's illegal where you live, I don't know how you're going to find a clinic that's willing to test your blood. I'm not sure. But like, if you are doing your own consistent blood work, like going to Quest Diagnostics and having them do your blood work and saying, hey, I'd like you to test this, this, and this, then I guess like that is a way that you could reasonably do DIY hormones and have it be safe. It just is tough. And there is a reason why you go to specialized endocrinologists. Like the person I know who had the overdose of testosterone was being seen by a doctor. And the doctor just wasn't specialized in their care and didn't know what to look for. I'm more concerned about people who have no access to HRT. I know a few people who had to do that. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not ideal, obviously. Like, it's not ideal to have to choose between not being on hormones or doing something unsafe like DIY, you know, without oversight. And I do think it seems like it's safer potentially to DIY because estrogen pills are so kind of ubiquitous, whereas like safe testosterone, like safe estrogen is made by a ton of different companies across the world, but safe testosterone is not made by as many companies. It's harder to get a hold of. The fact that it's a controlled substance is fucked up. Yeah, if Biden really was listening to trans people and wanted to help, he would deschedule, like he would take that risk away. DIY is a lot more safe and accessible for feminizing HRT. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly, Sisukara. Like, you can have a doctor who doesn't know what the hell they're doing. I also think that it is possible for this to run into a fear-mongering thing as well. Like, I don't think that it is necessarily fair to just say that all self-managed HRT is potentially deadly. Like, I don't think that that's a reasonable thing to say. And I also don't think that all self-managed testosterone HRT is inherently dangerous, right? Like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, what is my brother gonna do if it becomes illegal for him to have access to hormones? Like, it's not gonna be too much longer before he's like, he ages up into it. Like, you know, if they restrict it up to age 18, he will be 18 sometime next year. So it's like, well, you know, I guess like stay on your full dose for now and refill your prescription as soon as humanly possible. And if it becomes illegal, and like the way that they're working on making it illegal, you know, it's more like, oh, the doctor who prescribes it is going to have their license taken away. So if he continues to get it prescribed up until the point at which the doctor is not allowed to do it anymore, then what we'll probably have to do is drop him down to like half the dose that he's currently on and keep him and like try to get that to last as long as possible. And maybe even like take a little bit of extra time in between shots and try to like ration it out or something. I just don't know what else to do. Exactly. Yeah. Rationing care. Like anything else that we do would be illegal. Like that is the only legal thing that we can do to help him like to stay on his medicine and not be like, you know, it probably wouldn't hurt him that much to come off of testosterone and just wait like a year or 6 months or however long it would be. But like, it's so fucking unfair. And it's such a gift to be able to start as a teenager. You know, I didn't start until I was 21. So he's going to have a lot more advantages of like growing taller and being able to grow muscle as a teenager that I was not able to grow as a teenager, which like increases your ability to grow muscle for the rest of your life. Like, it's, get a cis male friend to get tea. Listen, I cannot condone. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Gayfesh. I would never do something like that. Is tea something you can order through the mail? Not really. I mean, like, if you have a prescription, then maybe, I don't know. Like, can you order tea online through a prescription pharmacy? Like an online pharmacy, maybe. But you would still need a doctor within your state. Like, you need a doctor who's licensed in the state that you live. And I think that if the doctor is licensed, it's like, you know, they're pushing this forward in Kansas, this like wait until you're 18 bullshit. So if a doctor is licensed in Kansas and they have a patient in Kansas who wants to get this care, but it's now illegal, then that doctor is going to potentially lose their medical license to practice in Kansas, you know? TBH, back in the day, trans men would shoot up horse roids, so like, fuck it. I mean, but like, do we know anything about whether those trans men, like, if their livers gave out when they were in their 60s? Yeah, like, you can technically do something and get the masculinizing effects. It's just dangerous. Like, it can hurt your body. It can destroy your liver. It can increase your hemoglobin to dangerous amounts and give you like a blood clot or a stroke. That tea is danger, like extra danger, for sure. So you just have to be careful. And like, yeah, more and more people are going to have to make this consideration. And I think that they should be provided with information on how to do it safely. Like, I think that it would be good to find out, like, what are the blood levels? And maybe this is, you know, is this something that's on the DIY HRT website already? The GitHub? The like what if you are having to self-manage your hormones, then you need to get your blood tested every once in a while, and that's going to cost more potentially if you're not doing it through insurance or whatever. So like, if you go ahead and know what to test, then sure, like, to the extent that you're doing it safely and like within the boundaries of the law, as far as I'm concerned, then go ahead and self-manage your care. But you, like, be aware. Doctors that are not licensed in a state can have the patient go to the state they do have. I thought that you had to be a resident, but maybe that's not the case. Sorry, my phone is making noise. I want to see what's going on the phone. What are you doing, my weird little guy? Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, the DIY HRT has all the stuff on it. That's good. Buck Angel had a lot of issues with testosterone because he was almost a guinea pig for it. Yeah, I mean, like, other people had already been on HRT before Buck Angel, but, you know, if your doctor wasn't the doctor who also already gave testosterone to someone else, then for a while it's like, it's experimental in a lot of different places until it all converges. Yes, read thoroughly. If you are going to need to transition to a self-management model, then you should read all the info and be quite thorough about it. So yeah, it's tough. Why are horses related to all the drugs? Yeah, what was the other one earlier? So I know that the Scythians would do the horse piss. Was it like horse roids that T-Rex said earlier? Okay, so yeah, I just want to be clear, y'all. When you say things like, seriously, if you're careful, it's not a problem at all, don't be dumb, do your research. I want y'all to understand the state that education is in this country. Like, people don't know how to read or write. Like, the literacy rate is dropping. You don't know what you don't know. Like, people it sucks. There are people who go on hormones. Like this is part of the detransition narrative, I understand, but it is also like true, apparently. Several of these detransitioners have been like, I started to go bald on T, and act like that's a surprise. Like these people genuinely don't understand what it is they're getting into sometimes. And like that, it's even more so with self-managed care. Like people don't understand how to recognize certain types of health issues. I started to go bald on T in my 20s. Right. Like my partner's hair is starting to get thinner and I'm trying to get him on finasteride, but I don't know if he cares at all about this. So, you know, I'm going to probably start using minoxidil. I'm just like still trying to figure out my hair care routine, and it sucks to use minoxidil because it makes your skin all dry, but this side of my head is very thin hair. Yeah, exactly. Like Sisukara, you learned trans medicine in the 90s, but lots of people do not. Like, not everybody is an expert on being transgender. It's actually really weird of me. It's weird of me to be an expert. Like, I will talk to regular trans people who aren't terminally online, and they don't know a lot of the very, like, things that I consider to be very basic about, like, surgery and medicines that they could potentially access and things like that. Like, people don't know their options. They don't know how to handle their care. They don't know how to do math very well. Like the whole Common Core thing and like making sure that kids are getting, you know, pushed up to the next grade and not held behind. It means that like the priority is no longer for children to learn stuff. I mean, not that the priority really ever was for children to learn stuff, but it's worse now than it was when I was a young kid. Rogaine for women helped me when my hair started falling out during menopause. Yeah, minoxidil is the generic term for Rogaine. You ever talk to a trans person and you can just tell they aren't arguing with TERFs online? Oh my god, true. It's still less safe to do any kind of medical care for yourself without a doctor as well. It's exactly like abortion. Many people who need it and are denied legally will go outside the law, and it will be less safe. Some of them will get hurt. Conservatives are okay with that fact. Minoxidil is only helping a little. So here's the thing, y'all. Minoxidil, you have to use it every day. If you don't use it every day, you will lose the benefits that it's given you. Additionally, minoxidil helps you regrow your hair, but it does not slow the loss of hair. So you should, in order to have the most effective results, you take finasteride, which stops the loss of your hair, and you use minoxidil at the same time to encourage new hair growth. But if you stop taking finasteride or if you stop using minoxidil, you will potentially lose the benefits. Like, so I think you can use the minoxidil for the prescribed amount of time, which is like 6 weeks. And then if you continue taking finasteride from that point, your hair is going to stay from there. Oh, are there more than one? Is there a pill form of minoxidil? I thought it was only topical. Well, the topical one you can get just on the grocery store shelf. I got mine at Target. Whereas a pill generally, like finasteride, you need a prescription for. Yeah, when cis men get prescribed minoxidil and finasteride, that's gender-affirming care. Banned. Oh gosh. Okay. So actually on the topic of abortion, I had something about that for the conversation today. I'm guessing embrace the baldness isn't a common line of thought. Well, for transgender women, who are the reason why I know about finasteride, it's not really something that they want to do very often, the embracing the baldness thing. And I mean, it's a security thing for a lot of men too. Like a lot of people are pretty invested in having nice hair. It's a pretty big like identity shift. Like the idea of like, you know, not just losing your hair, but if you like, for example, if you have really long hair and you have had really long hair for a long time and then you cut it all off, that's a big identity change moment. when I started going bald, the only real options were topical and toxic to cats, and I wasn't willing to give up my cats for a full head of hair. I mean, that's fair. I personally think that you can use minoxidil in a way that is okay around cats, but it also depends on the cat. If your cat is really aggressively like rubbing against you, then yeah, I get it. But like, if you're like me and like we had cats that behaved in a certain way because they were raised by the bottle, they didn't really get all up on my face unless I put my face near them, and I could just avoid doing that, you know? I've heard finasteride can reduce the, quote, effectiveness of taking tea. It depends. Like, I mean, it does block DHT, so it could potentially, like, slow down your bottom growth. Some people are saying, I like rubbing my face in my cat's belly. Just do that right after your shower, you know? Like, I mean, it just depends on your goals, though. Like, if you don't actually really care about going bald, like, it's whatever. I'm just saying, if you really were motivated, there are ways to have a cat and also use minoxidil. Hello, Blurella. Am I late or am I late? True. You're like 2.5 hours late. How dare you? How could you be that? How could you do that? Delicious. True. When cis women get silicone breasts, gender-affirming care. When cis men take Viagra because their peepees are caterpillaring, gender-affirming care. When cis women with PCOS get hair removal, gender-affirming care. Banned. Fair enough. If I ever do anything about my baldness, it's because I have a cash windfall and I will use it to get hair transplant surgery in Istanbul. Jim C is like, I'm always late. Finasteride, more like finsteride. True. If I have no tea left in my body, do I still need the finasteride? I don't know. I don't think so, but you'd have to talk to your doctor about it, because I don't know. If you have not yet hit like on the stream, hit like on the stream, yo. It is very quick for you. It only takes a moment, and it helps the show. And I'm about to talk about abortion for a second here. Ishmortion, shmushmortion. Ishmortion. Actually, I'm going to take a quick moment and type out what some of my notes have been for today. Oh god, what is today's date? The 7th, 2023. And we talked about COVID, and we talked about DIY HRT, and we talked about, oh yeah, girls basketball. And now we're gonna talk about shmushmortion. Shmushmortion. All the men in my family kept at least most of their hair until old age. The baldness gene exists primarily on the X chromosome. So if you know your chromosomes, like typically speaking, you're gonna, like, if you're a man, you're gonna look to like the women's side of the family. Finasteride is a DHT blocker, so should only need it if you have hair loss, for sure. So yeah, so there was a little bit of news about abortion this week. Another woman has been arrested for allegedly ending her pregnancy, and simultaneously, Texas Republicans are trying to ban abortion information online and prosecute credit card companies that allow medication abortion purchases. I did not know that. If you want to know if you're going bald, look to your maternal grandfather. Yeah, but if you ostensibly have 2 X chromosomes, then you have to check both sides of your family and kind of like toss up guess. Is baldness recessive or dominant? That's a good question. Common baldness is an autosomal dominant phenotype in men and an autosomal receptive phenotype in women. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. Although it is widely accepted, the thing that I just said, it is based on surprisingly little empirical data. Okay, so I guess, so baldness is inherited through a recessive gene, says this one from Advanced Medical Hair Institute. Pattern baldness is a sex-linked recessive trait. I don't know. It's maybe not conclusive. Yeah, it seems like there's kind of mixed results on that. I'm asking, are trans men more or less likely to go bald? Trans men are more likely to go bald because they have a greater chance, so baldness doesn't like tend to affect women as much as men because of the estrogen. So like if you have the genes on either, you know, like it's like the chance of you having baldness from either side of your family, basically. So I think trans men are slightly more likely to go bald because they have, I mean, like, again, assuming the statistics of chromosomes like actually bear out like the assumption that being female is you have two X's. So recessive means you need two copies of the gene. Oh, okay, so yeah, I don't know. You call this bald smooth skin? Yeah, the credit card companies. So yeah, anyway, back to the abortion thing. I got distracted on the baldness conversation because that's fun. I just want to read it. Thank you, please. So another woman arrested for allegedly self-managing abortion. Plus, Texas Republicans moved to criminalize online abortion info, credit card purchases of medication. Arkansas State Senate passed the bathroom ban. Oh, great. They rushed it back out of committee. Cool. And then the Senate just passed it. That's great. Okay, just let me read the goddamn article, please. Okay, so in South Carolina, a black woman was arrested earlier this week and charged with allegedly ending her own pregnancy back in October 2021. So wait, it wasn't illegal back then, though. Wait, what? South Carolina is one of just 2 states where self-managed abortion is expressly criminalized. Oh, okay, so I guess self-managed abortion was illegal back then still. Reportedly, the county coroner reported the woman to police, and medical providers seem to have shared the woman's private health information with law enforcement. It's essential to note that self-managed abortion needn't be explicitly criminalized for people to be targeted by police and prosecutors for a pregnancy loss. In Texas, anti-abortion Republican lawmakers who love small government and personal freedoms and supporting businesses have proposed new laws that would track and criminalize private internet browsing and online purchasing behavior related to abortion, and hold internet service providers and credit card companies, among others, liable for, quote, facilitating the transmission of abortion information or the purchase of abortion medication. But all of this sounds crazy. Yeah, Okay, yeah, then this is a bunch of headlines about, like, South Carolina woman charged after allegedly consuming abortion pills. Walgreens has recently said they won't distribute abortion pills in states where the attorneys general, like, protest against it. There's just, yeah, what's going on with abortion bans, regulations, and access at the state and local level. Bunch of links. And then some stuff about takes, like, so boycotts against abortion hostile states don't work. They just erase the incredible grassroots level work being done by organizers across the country. They're merely publicity stunts that don't recognize the full impact. And that impact is way less powerful than what you could do if you gave your time, money, and thought to the organizers on the ground. I don't know. I guess I don't know how I feel about the whole boycott thing. Because I do understand that it is a consideration that lawmakers take into account, where they're like, is this going to stop people from wanting to travel here and do business here? You know, if you have the potential to run into an issue in this, if the laws that are passing go against the morals of certain companies that want to, you know, do stuff in your state, like, is this discriminatory practice going to prevent who's being boycotted? Yeah, the idea is that, like, you're boycotting the state, I guess. The idea is that you're, like, refusing to go to the state and do anything there. But, like, that is a consideration that lawmakers take into account, where they're like, is this going to prevent people from wanting to come here and build new stuff and spend money here. Like, I actually remember that being a conversation in Arkansas last year, where it was like the guy was saying he didn't want to pass a law against trans kids getting access to care, but he did sign a law preventing trans girls from playing sports. But like the medical care thing, he was like, I don't want to put this in law because this could hurt business in Arkansas. Imagine Republicans actually caring about their states. Some of them do, like some very few of them do. I'm working on a fruit slicer. Yeah, going to Home Depot to work on the fruit slicer. I also saw another thing earlier that was about like some women from Texas who were basically saying like they were suing, some people are suing the state of Texas, some women who had non-viable pregnancies and were going to try to, did I like that even? Is it in my likes maybe? Or did I just read it and fucking move on earlier? That sounds about right. Yep, that sounds like what I did. I was also reading an article earlier, or a tweet thread earlier, about some women in Texas who are suing the state of Texas because the state of Texas has said, like, okay, you can only get an abortion in an emergency situation. And so these women were not given abortions by the doctors who were worried about getting sued, and they had to, like, fly to Colorado and stuff. And so now they're suing the state to be like, hey, you need to be more explicitly clear about what an emergency is. Like, if you have a totally non-viable pregnancy and like the baby is definitely going to die and you are probably going to die, but they won't give you an abortion until you're in sepsis. Holy shit, dude. See if I can find that actually. Okay. Are you going to let me read the article, Wapo? Are you going to let me read the article? Oh, there's so many ads. What about AP? Will you let me read this AP? This is going to backfire on them when all the trans people flee to Canada and we create a commune and rule the Great White North. I mean, they want us to be out of the country, whether we're... I mean, they want us out of the country. They want to kill us or they want us out. So whatever. No, we're still doing news, soy boy. I'm just taking a moment to eat some beef jerky because I started weightlifting this week and I'm fucking hungry. Okay. Okay, so here's the thing, Andes. I want to educate on this really quick. Progesterone-only pills, so birth control pills for people who have, uteruses and need that to be under control. Normally, it's combination birth control, estrogen, and progesterone. Now, you can miss one of your estrogen and progesterone pills and still catch up on it tomorrow and still be protected. Like, you have to stop taking it for like a week in order for it to stop being effective. You also have to take it for several weeks before it becomes effective, right? At actually protecting you from pregnancy. So then you have the progestin-only pill, and that one you have to take at the same time every day. Because, so here's the thing, when you start taking it, it only takes 2 days for you to be protected from pregnancy. It does not take nearly as long for you to become protected when you start taking it. However, if you miss it by 3 hours, if you normally take it at 9 a.m. and you forget and you realize suddenly it's 1 p.m., you are not protected from pregnancy from that moment. So from that moment, if you had sex like 2 days ago and there's a chance that there could be some spermies still living inside your body, you have a chance to get pregnant. Now, because of what progesterone does, in like that it thins the lining of your uterus and stuff like this, and it increases like the liquid, like viscosity of your fluids, basically. It increases the chance that in that time frame of you getting pregnant because you missed your pill, it's more likely to be an ectopic pregnancy if the situation was right and you were ovulating and all that shit, right? So if you take the pill at the same time every day, there is no inherent increased risk of ectopic pregnancy. The increased risk of ectopic pregnancy is only from user error, as far as I understand it. It doesn't mean like the pill itself is going to increase the risk of you getting an ectopic pregnancy. It's if you fuck up and don't take it when you're supposed to. Do you ever worry about the poisonous spiders in your country? Well, so first of all, they're venomous. Not poisonous, but yeah, no. We have black widows here, and then also the place where I live, we have brown recluse spiders. And brown recluse spiders, like, they're more scary because they can cause tissue necrosis. That's not necessarily like a kill you problem. I mean, it can be, but more often it's a necrosis problem. Oh, the red tide is going on? The toxic algae bloom, known as the red tide, overtaken much of Florida's southwest coast. That's a bummer. Spiders are very timid. Yeah, I mean, I had to try to appeal to one of my younger siblings today. I was like, hey, maybe don't kill spiders when they come. She was like, well, they came in my space. I'm like, they can't see you. Like, they cannot meaningfully see you. Tissue necrosis sounds very deadly. Well, like most of the time when you get bit by a spider, it's on an extremity. So it's like tissue necrosis on your leg or on your hand is not deadly in the same way, but infection, obviously. Missy, welcome to the website. Spiders are scary. True facts. So if you're here and you're hanging out and you have not yet hit the like button, do that. If you're here and you didn't know, it's my birthday month. So I understand y'all just paid rent and I just paid rent. I get it. But if you have an extra like couple of dollars to spare, I appreciate the tips. This is my full-time job, is to be a political commentator and gender philosopher and independent journalist and video editor and researcher and, you know, many, many things. It's my B-Day month next month and I'm a 2000s baby. Ooh, we love having the youngsters in here. Although you say 2000s, it's like if you were early enough 2000s, you're like 23 and like able to drink and stuff. I love processed fruit. I eat bugs all the time. Yeah, I'm not really bothered by the idea that we eat bugs by accident. I would eat bugs on purpose if they were prepared well, so. Excuse me. I'll be 23 later this year. So many youngins. I'm almost 2. Are you new? My gift is homemade because I'm also poor. No worries. I'm excited to get it. For sure. It might be the first thing I get in my P.O. box. Which, by the way, also, if you didn't know, I have a P.O. box. And the P.O. box is where I receive gifts. But it's not public. If you want to send me something, then you need to DM me and ask. And I will probably not give it to you if you're brand new in the community. If I've been seeing you around for a couple months, then maybe. Gonna be 21 next month. Y'all are babies. Babies. I'm about to be 29. I'm gonna be 37 this year. I hate age. I'm wanting to I want to age gracefully. I'm about to get yoked, boy. And I'm not gonna stop working out and exercising. Like, I'm getting into it now, and I hope that we can have these patterns for years. Florida has pythons and sinkholes. I know, what a shithole. When I'm at work, I see clients' birthdays and they're all adults, and I see 2003 birthdays and I just cry. I know. How dare you have the audacity to turn 29 a month before I do? I know. Mom loves me better because I'm the older one. I don't know. You were unplanned. I don't know. Okay, what else did I have for today? Oh, yeah. We didn't finish. Oh, come on. Let me read it, AP. Okay, thank you. I'm so old, there's a 20-year-old anniversary edition of a manga I read in high school, and I bought it as it came out. Time, it be going. Yeah, so this is from the AP. Women sue Texas over abortion ban, say it risked their lives. Amanda Zarowski speaks in front of the Texas state capitol. So 5 women who said they were denied abortions even when pregnancy endangered their lives are suing Texas over the abortion ban, the latest legal fight against state restrictions since the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade. The lawsuit filed Monday in a state court said that the Texas law, one of the strictest in the country, is creating confusion among doctors who are turning away some pregnant women experiencing health complications because they fear repercussions. Nobody should have to wait until they are at death's door to receive care, said Nancy Northup, CEO of the Center for Reproductive Rights, providing legal representation for these women. So similar legal challenges to abortion restrictions have arisen in states across the country since the Supreme Court overturned the landmark 73 decision. According to the Texas suit brought by these 5 women and 2 doctors, one woman, Amanda Zarowski, was forced to wait until she developed blood poisoning before being provided an abortion. The 4 others had to travel out of state to receive medical care for pregnancy-related complications after doctors recommended an abortion because of the deteriorating condition of the woman, the baby, or a twin, and this care could not be legally provided in Texas. My doctor could not intervene as long as her heart was beating or until I was sick enough for the ethics board of the hospital to consider my life at risk and permit the standard health care I needed at that point. She recalls her pregnancy after 18 months of fertility treatment with a baby that she had named Willow. The group wants clarification of the law, which they say is written vaguely and has made medical professionals wary of facing liability if the state does not consider the situation a medical emergency. You know, you're turning all of these like horrendous like loss of a baby that a person wanted, like you're turning these into criminal investigations, which is the fucked up thing, you know? Like, no matter what, every time a woman loses a baby that she wanted or, like, loses a baby incidentally because, you know, she was unable to quit doing meth or something like that, like, it turns the loss of a baby into a criminal investigation. And I think that no matter what, we don't want to live in a society where a woman losing a baby for any reason is treated as a criminal, like, investigation situation. It's not the same as, like, drowning a baby. Let's see. In an email Tuesday, a spokesman for Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, whom we have discussed before, said he is, quote, committed to doing everything in his power to protect mothers, families, and unborn children, and he will continue to defend and enforce the laws duly enacted by the Texas legislature. That's non-performative speech if I ever saw any. So doctors in the state currently face felony criminal charges if they perform an abortion in all but limited cases in which the life of a patient is in danger. So doctors in Texas are not just risking, like they're not just risking losing their medical license. They're risking a felony charge and jail time for providing an abortion. Like it's like literally they're trying to enact the same punishment as you would get if you were deliberately killing a baby, for sure. Beef jerky is not a great thing to eat on stream. I just ate some because it's next to my desk. Oh wow, that's intense. My aunt accidentally drowned her infant child. I'm so glad she didn't have to face a murder charge on top of the grief she already had. How long ago was that? Because I feel like if that happened today, she would be charged with criminal negligence. Mm-hmm. A long, long time ago. Okay, I've eaten my snack. My sneaky snack. I'm getting weirder. I've realized that my streams are getting weirder. Anyway. Let's see what else this says. Anything else in here? One of these women says, oh no, John Seago, president of the anti-abortion group Texas Right to Life, said the lawsuit dealt with very specific medical situations, two of which were cases that the existing law would have protected as a medical emergency. In those cases, he said he would consider the lack of intervention medical malpractice. These doctors should not have waited, he said, adding that Texas law does not require doctors to wait until a patient is near death. He said the other three cases dealing with disabilities of the fetus or a recommendation from a doctor to abort one fetus to give a twin a better chance of survival would have been prohibited from an abortion. He said there seems to be a disconnect with medical practitioners regarding what is permissible, and providing clarification is important. I mean, again, I think whatever reason you want to have an abortion is valid. Like, I don't think that it's reasonable to be like, well, you have to be almost dying, or the baby has to be almost dying. Like, if you're going to provide a shitty life for a kid because you can't afford it, that's also a legitimate reason to get an abortion. Let's see. Yeah, so it's basically just like an already extremely difficult decision had an extra layer of trauma because of medical decisions that were made by lawmakers and politicians and not by me, or based on best medical practice. So this is like women who, in order to avoid potential, I mean, it wasn't even them, it was the doctors who were like, we cannot perform this procedure because we might face felony charges. I never plan on having kids because they are too much to deal with. It sucks because I think that I want a kid, but I also think that I don't have what it takes to provide what a child needs. Good night, Sisukara. Good night. So I do actually think that, you know, I'm going to get the IUD taken out and I'm going to go back on the birth control pill. And I might look into getting the arm implant if I can find a way to get it relatively inexpensively. But there is a realistic possibility that I will. I mean, I would really, if I need to fundraise like $14,000 for something, I would rather it be something that like I need, you know, and not like, I'm going to go ahead and like get my hysterectomy now. I'm pretty sure that I don't want to actually bear children at this point. I'm pretty sure. I used to want to, or I used to think that I wanted to, and I think that it would just make me feel really awful and I don't want to do it. But I also hate that I'm being forced to like consider this decision right now. I'll consider having a kid if the boy I love becomes my husband someday. Like, my partner and I both have a lot of hobbies, and like, you know, I'm not gonna make the decision to get a histo or not right now, partially because like, boy howdy, my partner and I are in the middle of a separation right now, and so like, I don't necessarily want to like decide to get a hysterectomy now and then my partner and I break up and I meet someone else in a couple years who I'm like, oh, I really would like to have a kid with this person. Like, I don't know. It's just not a decision that I can make right now. Bearing children sounds tough. I don't even want human kids. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough, Phoebe. I think that a lot of trans men are dysphoric about the idea of getting pregnant. Some of them are cool with it and they don't mind. Nouns just don't work when you're in a gender fluid relationship. True. If they do end up restricting HRT further, how will people who've had hysterectomies and or cadectomies cope? I wonder if there'll be an exception, because if not, it's basically slowly killing. Well, they will very helpfully tell you, well, if you were born with a penis and testicles and you've had them removed by a doctor who decided to, trick you into getting the procedure and mutilated you, we will be happy to provide you with testosterone. And same the other way around. If you had a hysterectomy because some doctor decided to steal your ovaries, then we'd be happy to provide you with estrogen. Cries in trans femme with no ability to ever get pregnant. They're working on uterus transplants, aren't they? Someday, we will be able to do it. In the future, you may be able to have a machine be pregnant for you. It's like The Island. It's like The Island, where like they would grow a whole separate human body and have that body be pregnant and then steal the baby from it. The arm implant worked well for me. Yeah, I think Planned Parenthood has a sliding scale cost for uninsured people. Like when I got my IUD, I requested information from the manufacturer, and then I told them my financial situation, and they ended up sending the IUD to my clinic for free. So I assume that there's something similar with the arm implant, where either Planned Parenthood has a deal on them, or I can contact the manufacturer and have it given to me for less expensive because I don't have very much money. Someday we can feel the pain too. If you have a baby through a uterus transplant, you're gonna be, it's gonna be a C-section. You're not gonna deliver that baby vaginally. Yeah, us older girls are past the mark. I mean, that's fair enough. That's an experience that you can share with cis women when you're like, yes, I am too old to have a baby now. I missed out on my chance. Like, that's, cis women have that too. Okay, just added something to my show notes there. So, yeah, I guess my last thing that I really had for today was the gay stuff. Just let that hang for a while. The gay stuff. I need to watch Ash Hardell's video about the twins. I saw that they posted. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. TERFs will just push the goalposts to being able to have a live birth, which would be fitting for transphobes in the UK. Yeah, and that's just going to rule out so many more cis women. Like, you're not a cis woman if you couldn't produce a vaginal birth. Like, okay, so there's like a couple characters in House of the Dragon who just aren't real females because their pregnancies like didn't go well without a C-section. Why are trans girls the hottest thing on the planet? It's truly a mystery. I don't really get it. The UK once tried to ban C-sections. Yeah, I remember from the Philosophy Tube video where like a lot of babies and mothers died because they were like fixated on the idea that a vaginal birth is like natural and good, but not acknowledging that a lot of the reasons why we have C-section in the first place is because sometimes like a woman's body is too small, like the head is too big, vaginal canal is too small, like, or maybe there's not enough room inside of her for the baby to orient itself in the correct direction. Yeah, it was an ideological opinion that quote unquote natural births are better, that vaginal birth is preferable, and that like a C-section should only be done as a very last resort. So what happened is like a lot of babies just like got stuck and couldn't be born, Peak conservative stupidity, truly. Hold it, Missy. All right, we're not doing smuggy chat right now. Hold your horses. When will they have W sections? That's what you get when you come here. All three of us were 8.5 pounders. Oh, wow. Oh, it's good that your refrigerator's not dead, Knox. That's scary. Okay, what was I... There was... Oh, yeah. Am I gonna do actually a segment about Iowa tonight? Iowa gay marriage? Gay marriage. I cannot spell, apparently. I was like a 21-inch long baby, which is like horrendous. And also, like, my mother was 15 years old when she was pregnant with me. So I was a 21-inch baby inside of like a 5'2" teenager. I was the biggest, a point of pride, because now I'm the smallest and it irritates me. I don't remember how big I was when I was a baby. I only remember it because my mom talked about it fucking constantly. Man. I was assigned baby at birth. True. They thought I was... Super Dr. Hulock says they thought I was stillborn at first because I didn't cry or move for a bit. Autistic from the start. Truly. ABAB. Assigned baby at birth. So, I mean, I'm sure that y'all have heard about the Iowa bill that they filed to try to constitutionally amend the state constitution to ban same-sex marriage. You know, it's not gonna go anywhere, apparently. Democrats have their own bill that would bring Iowa's law in line with the 2009 Iowa Supreme Court decision that legalized same-sex marriage in the state. None of these bills have been assigned a subcommittee hearing and almost certainly won't advance ahead of a legislative funnel deadline on Friday. Not expecting these bills to move. But they did introduce a bill stating, in accordance with the laws of nature and nature's God, the state of Iowa recognizes the definition of marriage to be the solemnized union between one human biological male and one human biological female. What? Okay. You got to specify the human part, I guess. Yeah, so of course, this is going to... If they were to pass this law, it would definitely get appealed up to the Supreme Court. It's just the decision... It's like... The question is whether this Supreme Court is gonna be okay with these things, and probably not. But I really wish... I feel like if you propose a law, or like you propose an amendment to the Constitution, and you, in anywhere in your law, you put any reference to God, like, I think that you should lose your job. Yeah, I think that you should be forcibly removed from your position of power. There should be an emergency election called to fill your spot, and that you should never, ever, 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 ever work as a representative in this government again. Like, I get it. There are Christians who are in need of representation, but we don't write laws imposing Christian views on other people. So if you write a law imposing your religion on everyone, on a bunch of people who aren't Christian, you should lose your job. And, like, that's me being nice. That's me stopping well short of what I think you actually deserve. Like, that's a very, very chill and well-reasoned response, I think. My mom wrote in my baby book that I was chatty and smiled a lot. Apparently that ended shortly. Yeah, open Christian nationalists are literally in the Congress. I don't really care about marriage. It's just a public announcement that I love my partners. I mean, it's a social and legal and financial benefit. Like, we incentivize marriage through, like, you know, making it, what the fuck is that? You know, there's a financial benefit to being married in the taxes and stuff like this. And there's a legal benefit to being married, because then you have someone who can make medical decisions for you if you're in a coma or something like that. When do I get to escape from the simulation ran by these theocrats? Would be great. It's the original Facebook official, true. I feel like I keep wanting to like make personal comments about my life, and I think I'm actually going to try to like scale that back slightly. Like ever so slightly. But another reason why I wanted to talk about gay marriage today is because sexual orientation is a dog whistle just as much as transgenderism is. Let's watch this video really quick. Let's watch this video. Yeah, for sure, Shade. I hope that I never have to learn what it's like to do that thing that you just mentioned, but we'll see. If you and your partner aren't married and they die, you may be denied any right to be with them as they die or make decisions regarding the grieving and final resting rituals surrounding their death. Yeah, and I mean, like, if your partner dies and you're not married, then you might not get to make any decisions about their stuff or, like, their house, you know? Like, if they have a house, like, you won't be able to... If you're not married and you're not on the lease, then you won't be able to enter their apartment legally and, like, decide what to do with their stuff. Like, there are benefits to being married. So there's also, like, a difference between being legally married and, like, I think that there's a difference between being legally married and doing, like, the social marriage thing. If marriage were illegal for me, I could see myself still wanting to do the commitment ceremony. Although, like, when I was a kid, like, when I was 18 and I got married... LOL, I got married when I was 18. Yes, unlocking more lore from Luxander. I didn't really care about the wedding part. I mostly was like, we're going to be legally married soon. There's a financial benefit. Like, we want to stay together probably forever. And I'm ready to change my name. Like, let's just go ahead and get married. And now that I've been in that same relationship for a really long time, I feel like I need to reevaluate like what being married means legally and what like being married in a sense of commitment means, and that like I think that you could have those two things be separate to each other. Like sometimes I wonder if not having a wedding at the beginning is like put my marriage off on the wrong foot. You know what I mean? My mom got married at 17, shotgun wedding. We had been together for 13 years. It wasn't a shotgun wedding. I mean, you know, I say like I got married when I was 18, but we had already been together for like 3.5 years. Yeah, Andes, that's really rough. Yeah, if you and your partner can't get legally married, go see a queer/disability-friendly lawyer, get a death plan set up so that you have documents you can wave in people's faces, just tell them to fuck off and let you grieve. Also, not necessarily all people married to each other would want or deserve those legal things. Yeah, it's weird when, like, you make divorce harder to access to, as far as all these things are related. Anyway. So I wanted to show you guys this video from Missouri State Representative talking about a bill that she was trying to pass to prevent sexual orientation from being discussed in schools. So let me make sure the volume is good here.
Lady...
Nope, that's really loud. I apologize for how loud that was.
You mentioned...
Okay, that's better. Okay, let's watch this. Yeah. Let's watch the video. Don't spoil it, Baphomet.
I'm just going to read you the language in your bill. No classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties relating to sexual orientation or gender identity shall occur. Lady, you mentioned George Washington. Who is Martha Washington?
His wife?
She's
Under your
acting
bill-
confused. She's like, why are you asking me that? Like, you can tell in her answer. She's like, she can feel the gotcha. Like, she can feel the jaws of the trap, like, ready to snap shut on her. She can feel it.
How could you mention that in a classroom?
So to me, that's not sexual orientation.
Oh, yeah. So she just admitted sexual orientation is a dog whistle for gay people. Like, sexual orientation, like, when they say they have a problem with pronouns, they mean I have a problem with trans people. When they say they have a problem with sexual orientation, they mean they have a problem with gay people. Because to straight people, they don't even have a sexual orientation. They're just normal.
Really? So it's only really certain sexual orientations that you want prohibited from
Pat,
introduction in the
Do you
classroom.
have language to make that better, to make it where you're not talking?
Lady, I didn't introduce your bill.
Okay.
And I didn't write it. You wrote it, and so I'm asking what it means.
I love that. He's like, I am not going to help you improve this shitty bill. You need to explain what it means. Do you have language to make that better? He's like, no, bitch. No, I do not.
Which sexual orientations do you believe should be prohibited from Missouri classrooms?
We all have a moral compass.
There was a little bit of a cut there, and I wish there hadn't been, but yeah, this is her non-answer.
And my moral compass is compared with the Bible.
So, okay, if you say that I'm writing law based on my moral compass, which means that I'm imposing biblical morality on everyone else, you should lose your job. And again, that's like the really polite version of what I actually want to happen to you. Like, I frankly think that you lied to get into a position of, like, control over society and control over others, and that, like, you should probably be stripped of any further influence, including, like, your wealth. Because you lied to get the wealth that you have. Like, you lied to get this position in government where you're taken care of and you have a good job and you buy a house on that money. Like, that is ill-gotten wealth. That's like you've stolen from the taxpayers. Like, everyone who's not a Christian who believes in the Bible in the same way that she does has been robbed by this woman. And if she lost her job, that would be the least amount of justice and recompense. I fucking hate these people. I really am going to try not to become a hardcore anti-theist, because I do think that individual Christians can be good people. But I think that if you mention God or Christianity in any way when we're discussing public policy, like, you know, in The Matrix, where they like put that thing in Neo and then his mouth like seals up forever and closes over? Like, I don't care if we have to accomplish that human centipede style. You don't deserve to speak anymore. Watch the sign interpreter. She's so cool when she's translating she translates the intonations of the speakers as well as their words. Oh yeah, I haven't really been watching her. I should probably do that and appreciate it more, because I'm so caught up in how much I hate this woman.
Lady, I believe during your
believe-
testimony, you said that you didn't want teachers' personal beliefs entering the classroom, but it seemed a lot like your personal belief you would like to enter
Yeah, her body language, she's like, but it seems a lot like your personal beliefs. Oh my God, I'm loving it.
all Missouri classrooms.
You can believe something without putting that onto somebody by the way you behave. And you can have beliefs and morals and values that guide you through life.
This is like such a dodge. This is such a non-answer. I'm watching the interpreter now because that makes it a little bit easier. But like that thing that lady just said was fucking nonsense. Did you notice how much complete and utter nonsense that was?
You said that you didn't want teachers' personal beliefs entering the classroom, but it seemed a lot like your personal belief you would like to enter all Missouri classrooms.
You can believe something without putting that onto somebody by the way you behave. And you can have beliefs and morals and values that guide you through life.
What kind of answer is that?
I don't dispute that, but I'm asking about the language of your bill and how it would permit the mention of the historical figure Martha Washington. Could you explain that to me?
So what does she? Why is she famous? Is she famous because she's married to George Washington?
It seems like that would be a relevant fact in her biography, yes. Could it be mentioned under the plain reading language of your bill? Is that a no?
I don't know, sir.
Okay.
This is what I mean about the failure of public school. Is like y'all think people have the skills to manage their healthcare in the same degree that like a professional endocrinologist specializing in trans care would be able to, but people don't. Like, she's sitting there trying to write a law, and because she is using her name is Lady, which is almost, I mean, I don't know. I know one person named Lady, and she's really cool. But I think she also picked that name, and so she's way cooler. But like, yeah, I just, she obviously didn't think that her bill would be interpreted to have anything to do with straight people, because when they say, oh, we need to get all this talk about sexual orientation out of the classroom, they're using the word sexual in sexual orientation to make you think that explicit conversations about sex are happening in elementary school classrooms, but that's not what is actually happening. They just can't say, I think we shouldn't discuss gay people in the classroom. Pineapple on pizza and gay people in my bed. True winter nightmare. I think it's worth considering 99% of trans people are smarter than any conservative. Listen, girl, there are conservative trans people, okay? Like, let's not forget intersectionality. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Do conservatives go to hell? Is there anywhere else for a conservative to go? Those are the 1%, true. The 1% of trans people are the ones who are also conservatives. Oh no. Y'all, this is so random. LOLXD, so random. I have just the weirdest, strongest urge to go to a pumpkin patch, but it is violently not the right season for that shit. Oh man. That's why I put 99% because I'm crafty. You gotta like leave your hedge room in there. When I see conservative trans women and cis women arguing, I'm like, why don't y'all just be friends? Oh, conservatives don't go to hell, they go to Ohio. That's the absolute true fact right there. Do not relate to the pumpkins in the same way as trans femmes. The stem is really not the ideal texture. You know what I mean? It's not really what you want. Yeah, have you ever realized, like, have you ever grabbed the vine or like the stem part of a pumpkin thing and had it just like stab you in the hand? You want that in your hoo-ha? I don't think so. Watermelon patch, the pumpkin of also the wrong season. Watermelons, they're like a high summer thing, right? Like the height of summer. Someone, did Gayfesh earlier say that cucumbers are squashes? Did someone say that cucumbers are squashes? Zucchinis are squashes, so it kind of makes sense that pumpkins are squashes. I have so many vegetables in my refrigerator. I'm gonna like eat so many vegetables. You would be better off growing a long squash for the purpose. Are cucumbers watermelons? Ooh, watermelon, cucumber, and gourd are members of the plant family Cucurbitaceae. I can read Latin. Lux, don't call them vegetables. That's ableist. Oh. That's nanners, Mama Mephistopheles. That's nanners. I like making fun of people. It's a cruel, vindictive thing to do, but I do enjoy making fun of people. Sorry. Cucumbers are more of a watery melon than a watermelon is, in my opinion. Man, maybe Super Dr. Hulak, you've never had a real juicy watermelon. Like, the juiciest watermelons are significantly juicier than any cucumber. But you also live in a tiny country that imports a lot of its fruit and veg, so it would not surprise me if you had never had, like, a peak ripeness watermelon before. What about vagina? Wait, what? When did Smuggy enter the chat? Ohio kinda is hell. I have to go through so much crap to change my name on my house deed just to get my name changed on my sewer bill. That's a pain in the ass. Ohio. Oh, Smuggy entered when the pumpkins did. I see. You all heard me talking about how I wanted to go pumpkin patch hunting, and you assumed that was because, listen, someday Ohayo means good morning in Japanese. There are like several different ways to say hello though. Like, do not fuck a pumpkin. But what if pumpkin rind is rigid, it will hurt. But if the hole is big enough and I'm just trying to get into the goop, yes, the insides are soft and squishy. I just feel like the stickiness would make it not very fun. The goop is cold, dumbass. It only really works if your dick is soft enough, which, like, trans femme is on estrogen. I mean, that's true. If you fuck a pumpkin, it brings a whole new meaning to jack-o'-lantern. Truth. Microwave the pumpkin. Yeah, microwave it. That was like, oh god, what was it? It was Good Luck Chuck. Has anybody seen Good Luck Chuck? It was a Dane Cook movie. And he had a friend... Or was it... Wait. Was it Good Luck Chuck? Yeah. It was Good Luck Chuck. And he had a friend who would, like, take a cantaloupe or a grapefruit and put it in the microwave and then fuck it. Yeah. It's a movie that we all saw when we were way too young to be seeing a movie like that. What was the other one? Because there was Good Luck Chuck, and then there was some other movie about him, about, like, he worked in a store. Were there, like, 3 different Dane Cook movies? Or were there only 2 Dane Cook movies? Oh my god, I didn't know that Dane Cook was doing, like, serious movies. He did a serious movie in 2019 called American Exit. Like, he used to be a stand-up comedian, but I guess he's gotten away from doing that. I remember when he was famous for like 3 months. It was a really big, fun thing to watch. You know, there's like anime music videos where people will take like clips from Naruto and put them to a song and then like make a custom anime music video. People would also make those with like audio from TV shows and from fucking stand-up specials. So there was one Dane Cook one where he's talking about like the creepy guy at work who you're nice to because one day he's gonna come in with a sawed-off shotgun, but he won't kill you because you were nice to him. And someone cut it and put it to Naruto and was like, Itachi was the crazy guy with the shotgun. Silent! Just got back to the house from the trip. Nice! I am so glad to hear. I hope that you had a good time. And I'm glad that your trip was all safe and everything. Fingers crossed that no one gets, no one develops COVID from travel or anything. Speaking of pumpkins, I was devastated because the little white decorative pumpkin that I've had for like over 2 years because it just wouldn't rot, finally rotted after over 2 years. You know it was rotting on the inside it was fermenting in there for a long time. Oh, cantaloupe ice cream sounds really good. Oh shit, there was a legit moment on the flight where they asked for a doctor or medical professional. Oh my gosh. Do you have any idea what was going on? Yeah, it did. Yeah, 2 years is a long time to have it not rot on the outside. I have a part of a pumpkin in with my Porcellanites pruinosis, and they have hollowed it out for the most part, and I need to take it out of there, but I'm so lazy because you have to take it out and put it in the freezer to make sure that none of the bioactive terrarium stuff gets out of the bioactive terrarium. It's not legal for that to happen, so I gotta freeze it and then throw it away. Oh yeah, excuse me. There was actually a fatal turbulence incident on a flight to Leesburg, Virginia just this past week. Wait, what? A fatal turbulence incident. Does that mean someone was like walking down the like hall and like fatal turbulence? Is that like they were walking down the hall and then turbulence happens and they fall and hit their head or something? Like how does that happen? Some guy was struggling to stand, it looked like. They ended up serving drinks a second time after, so I'm guessing it wasn't too bad. I mean, with capitalism the way it is, I would not be surprised if someone could be actually dying on a flight and then like simultaneously like further down the aisle, there's a flight attendant being like, "Would you like a hot towel, sir?" You know, like I could seriously imagine, can turbulence cause shaken baby syndrome? I was kind of under the impression that shaken baby syndrome was something that needed to be more sustained and not like something that you do very briefly and then. Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know though. Someone tried to stab a flight attendant on another flight recently, apparently. Oh, y'all. You just reminded me of something fucking hilarious that I hope I can find. Oh, come on. Please, give it to me. Give it. We have, Please. Yes! Oh, I found it! Yes, I found it! Okay, listen. We're gonna watch this video. We gonna watch this video, all right? It's time.
Now understand something. I'm a flight attendant. That means I attend the flights. Sometimes our job has us attending to crazy people. If you push us too far, you're gonna have to attend this ass whooping. You see, because on this particular flight, I'm sitting in the jump seat and I'm just looking at him act a damn fool. He's spitting and cussing and going crazy. I say, that's enough. I got up and I walked over there, and by the way, this man smelled like a pack of Marlboro cigarettes, 4 shots of Everclear alcohol, and regret. So I know something's about to go down. At this point, he touching all over my coworker's breast, and where he f***ed up at is when he touched my titties, because I don't play that. So what I did is I took out the duct tape. I said, he got scared, started stuttering, say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. I said, yeah, we about to mummify your ass now, boy. So we wrapped him up. Better than any Christmas present you will ever see. He won't be coming on no more Frontier flights at all.
Oh my God. I forgot how good it was. Oh no. Were there actually pictures of it? Were there pictures of it? Hold up. Were there like hold on. Pictures of duct taped man on airplane? Yeah. Is there a photo? Please. Oh my God, it's perfect. Of course it was Frontier. Oh my God. We about to mummify your ass. Like, oh my God, it's too funny. I found a video. Did you find a video? Hold up.
You don't know when your
Oh,
moments...
wait. Oh, of course. Like, so we have an ad. Blah, 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 blah.
But when it does, you take it.
Blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, so this is video of it. I'm gonna take the volume down a little bit, because it's like a little bit... It's a little bit loud, and this is like... It's a little bit violent, so... Yeah. Okay. This, I think, is the same event. Or maybe it's not. Maybe this is a separate thing. Okay, there's no duct tape in that video. That's not the same event. There's no duct tape there. Shush. Might be separate. Did you found it? I love his sound effects. Like, I love his sound effects for the duct tape. That was primo. Oh, is it this? I mean, this seems to be a person taped to a chair in an airplane. So, like, it apparently has happened at some point. This is another situation. This one says it's from Frontier. Passenger taped to a seat after allegedly groping and punching flight attendants. So I guess this is, like, not uncommon. I mean, maybe not common, but it's not unheard of for people to get duct taped to a chair. Here's another one. That's like 3 separate photos of a person taped to a chair on an airplane that I found in a very brief story. Or sorry, in a very brief search, not a story. Give him the old grope and punch. Best way to meet women back in the 50s. True. He was taped for being unruly while drunk. Yeah. Oh my god. Frontier flights are like $70 and you can only bring a backpack. It's like a Greyhound bus in the sky. Well, I know who to avoid. I was talking to my sister-in-law and she said that the only place where she would go, the only place she would fly with would be Southwest. And I was like, okay. I'm not gonna need to fly anytime soon, probably, but... City council members were inciting violence against a drag show that was planned for the festival. It was right next to a beer tent, and a city official suggested that angry, drunk townies could get violent and the town would take no responsibility. The drag show withdrew and alcohol was banned for the Melon Festival. Oh, that fucking sucks. Alaska is pretty decent for flying into and out of Seattle. Okay, Alaska Airlines. Gregory Brothers made a song out of the duct tape guy. Oh, I don't know if I can listen to it on stream.
He said, hold up, wait a minute, hold on, something ain't right. I see that's enough, so we wrap him up. He won't be coming on no more flights. I said, something's about to go down. He got skin, I walk over there. Say, we about to mummify your ass now. This man smells like a pack of cigarettes. 4 shots of alcohol and regret. He touching all over my co-worker's dress. He touching my titties, I don't play that. He's spitting and cutting and going crazy. Wrapped him up better than any Christmas present lazy. So what I did is I took down the duct tape. He got scared, started stuck. Say,
Wait, different thing.
hold up, wait. I took out the duct tape.
Oh,
I said,
now it's over. Okay. Yeah, that was so good. That was so good. That was boppin'. That was for sure boppin'. I love that. My family uses Alaska and I've had great experiences with them. I wonder if they fly out of Kansas City. Because that's like the nearest airport, you know? Kansas City. Need some duct tape for school board meetings. True. That is a certified banger. I fly Alaska when going to Vancouver sometimes. Okay. Is Alaska like a relatively inexpensive one? Yeah, not like... Again, it's like I'm not gonna need to fly anywhere for a while, probably. I mean, I hope, I guess, that I don't... I mean, it's expensive. Flying. Just living my leftist principles, true. Mutual aid. If I leave Texas, I'm going to have to either fly or pee in bottles because no, I am stopping to use a restroom in rural Texas. Right, yeah, you said that you live like smack right dab in the middle of Texas. So any amount of like driving to get out of the state is going to be like 10 hours or something like that. You know, yeah, you just got to pee in a bottle. You got to pee in a bottle, baby. Gotta love me the right way, honey. Wow, genie in a bottle. Throwback, bitch. Wow, okay. I should go sleep, but the zombie apocalypse has kept me here because I'm dead-ass scared. Irrational fears. Do a progressive muscle relaxation. Look up on YouTube a progressive muscle relaxation exercise. Do one that's like 15 minutes. Yeah, there was discourse on Twitter about giving friends rides to and from the airport, and I'm like, that's insane. People are like, never ask your friends because I always do that shit, and then silent text me an hour later. Yeah, I really hated that discourse. And it was also like another discourse recently about whether you should ask your friends to move. And people were like, y'all, that's so immature. You should, if you're an adult, you should be hiring movers. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yes, you should ask for a ride to the airport. Like, yes, I mean, here's the thing. You want to ask me for a ride to the airport, I might give it to you, but I will for sure not be giving you a ride from the airport. Get your COVID fucking air out of my car. But with regards to helping people move, like, I like need to ask for help the next time I move because I have had I've had 3 moves in a row now where I've done the overwhelming majority of the actual moving it. Like 3 moves in a row. When we moved into my sister-in-law's place, when we lived there for a couple years, I moved almost all the stuff by myself for that. And then when we moved into our apartment where my partner currently lives. And then when I moved out of my apartment that I lived in with my partner, I moved all of the boxes by myself. Almost all of the boxes every time. And for this time, at least, it was only my stuff. The previous 2 moves, I moved all of both of our stuff. Except for, like, things that I literally couldn't physically move by myself, like big pieces of furniture and things like this. So I have this, like, really terrible habit of just doing shit on my own and never asking for assistance. But if someone else asked me for assistance, I would be like, oh my God, yes, like I will help you move for sure. Like how can I help? Do you want me to bring pizza? Like, do you want me to pitch in $10 for pizza or whatever? Like, I'll bring beer, you know, something like this. Funny thing about peeing in bottles, I got into a dumb discourse a while back where dumb fucks were like, yo, how do female Amazon drivers deal with bathroom breaks? And I was like, they pee in a jar. It's not hard. There is a distinct hole. Or what? Did y'all just think it was a sprinkler system down there? Yeah, it's just like, it's just an entire backsplash all over. I think maybe that because men's urethra is for their cum and for their pee. So if you like have sex and then try to go pee afterward, it can be a little bit weird because there's like stuff in the pipeline. So, or like if the end of your dick is kind of pinched closed together, like you might have like a spray kind of off in one direction. So I think that men just assume that peeing out of a vulva is like that, where like sometimes it can go unexpected directions. And like, to be fair, I have had several times in my life where there is just, for some reason, the pee is like touching my leg. And like, I'm like, why? Like, I think it's because the labia minora are like stuck together or something. Like, I don't know. So it does happen sometimes that it's weird, but most of the time it just like falls straight out of you. Not that complicated. I have to find a new apartment by the end of April. Not looking forward to moving TBH, but I am looking forward to having a place all to myself. Oh, that doesn't sound fun. That's not a very long time to be finding a new apartment, too. If you have a narrow urethra like Hank Hill, exactly, guy in a gorilla suit. Looking forward to not worrying about that anymore, for sure. You know when a fire hose goes off with no one holding it and whips around like a snake? That's what peeing with a penis is like. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Lux, do you play any video games? I am a video game player. I don't really play anything consistently right now because of the fact that I have a lot of shit to do all the time. But I was playing World of Warcraft recently. My partner wants me to get into this game called Sea of Thieves because we could play it together. It has to do with, like, being a pirate and, like, on a ship and stuff. So apparently my partner, when he plays with his friends, they don't really get it. Like, when they say, oh, they're like, oh, you need to turn the ship to starboard, and then they don't jump to, like, adjusting the sail in the way that is required. They just expect him to turn the wheel, and that's not, like, how ships work. So my partner wants me to get Sea of Thieves, but it's $40, and I don't have that kind of money to spend on a video game right now. I mean, like, I have the money, but I'm too concerned about whether the rest of the month is going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like, I just am, this is the first time that I've ever managed my own finances by myself, like, and, like, not been a married person, like, with shared finances. So, and I don't have shared expenses right now. So I'm just, like, desperately trying to hold on to all of my money. I'm like, I don't want to spend any money. Like, keep all of it. Put it all in my bank account, please. Keep it there. I've watched a coworker play Sea of Thieves. It is detailed. There is even cooking, fishing, and sailing in it. Yeah, my partner showed it off to me a little bit, and it does look cool. Good night, Winter Nightmare. Y'all, Minesweeper, though. Minesweeper is fun. It's not too difficult in principle. In practice, it's weird. Folks, I am a video game player, and vigorous, scornful audience boos. I'm too addicted to spending to save my money. I feel like I'm doing a really good job of striking the right balance between spending money on things that I want and need versus, like, exercising some discipline and some self-control. Like, no, I do not need to eat fast food all the time, and no, I do not need to drink alcohol. It helps that drinking alcohol just sucks now. Like, it just feels, like, bad now, so it's easy not to do it. And it will get in the way of my goals regarding building muscle. So, you know, I'm a miser, I confess. Truly. You know, what happens if, like, one of my tires blows up and I need to suddenly buy a new tire? It's much easier to do that if I don't spend $40 right now on Sea of Thieves. I spend my money on tarantulas. My younger sister was, like, really freaking out about a spider earlier today, and I was sitting there thinking, like, do we need to do an exposure setting, like, where we get to meet, like, some arachnids, like some tarantula guys? Because I'm trying to figure if out if she has an arachnophobia or if she has just developed an irrational, like, aversion that can be overcome. You know, like, is it a phobia or is it just an aversion? Don't think of it as losing a tire. Think of it as gaining 3 tire swings. True. But what if your tire does not blow up and you could have had, you could have had Sea of Thieves. Au contraire, corpse candy. What if instead I wait for 2 or 3 weeks? Because the spring sale is going to be, like, next week, right? It'll probably go on sale during the spring sale, so I'll just buy it when it is, I'll just buy it when it's on sale again. Irrational aversion is phobia. Yeah, so I guess I had an idea that, like, you can be scared of spiders with it not being a phobia. You know what I mean? And, like, I kind of am assuming, like, I just don't think that my siblings know very much stuff about stuff. So, like, do they know that they can't see? Like, do they know that spiders can't even really see you? So there's not really any way for them to deliberately come into your sphere. Yes, good night, Dizzy. Good night. Enjoy your shower time. You've won this round. would you have the free time to play Sea of Thieves? Well, the thing about my free time and how I choose to spend it is that fixing my marriage is like one of the tasks on my list. So when I spend time with my partner, I don't really view that as my free time. That's like time that I'm spending doing the task of trying to make my relationship work out. So if I play Sea of Thieves, it's because I have specifically blocked out time to do a thing with my partner, in the same way that I block out time to go spend the night at my partner's house. I'm probably not going to play Sea of Thieves by myself. But as I was saying, closer to the top of stream, I also am recognizing that I have like bad boundaries with my job. Like I just don't have very good boundaries. So I need to maybe have specific days of the week that I don't work. Can you write that off on your taxes? If I were to stream it, then yes. If I were to stream my gaming, but I can't stream my gaming right now because my computer needs to be cleaned out and potentially I need to have the graphics card updated. The irrational part is really what makes it a phobia, more so than the terms of severity. That's why every Republican who says I'm not transphobic, I'm not scared of them, is a fucking idiot. Okay. Play some older games on stream. It could be fun. I don't know what are older games that are fun that I would enjoy and would be good. Like, listen, multitasking is really difficult as an ADHD person and as a streamer, and there's already kind of a lot of stuff going on. Like, there's a lot of processes running in the back of my head where I'm like, oh, there's 2 chats running. I gotta make sure stream health is good. I gotta check Streamlabs. Is Streamlabs still running? Yes. Like, so it has to be the right game. Minecraft takes a lot of RAM, does it not? Am I wrong? Anyway, yeah, my computer, it needs to be cleaned at the very minimum, and maybe a lot of my speed issues could be a lot better. Knights of the Old Republic, Lego Island 2. Sea of Thieves was on Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, I know I have to have an Xbox account in order to play it. Bubble Bobble? What's Bubble Bobble? Is that one of those ones where you shoot the bubbles and try to make, like, connections and then the bubbles pop? Is that what Bubble Bobble is? Minecraft takes a lot of Ritalin and RAM, true. Well, I have good news about the Ritalin part. Okay, Bubble Bobble is not what I thought it was. That's a totally different thing. Internet Archive has an arcade section with old games that you can play online. Yeah. I don't really feel especially motivated to do gaming streams. Like, I find this to be pretty fun. And, yeah, I mean, like, I would like to, but I'm not, like, very motivated to make that happen. I guess, otherwise I would have cleaned my computer by now. Yeah, exactly. Woohoo, Ritalin! Dopamine. I love dopamine. It's so good. It's my favorite. Cooking stream. Yeah, people really love the cooking stream concept. And it's just weird to set up a stream away from my computer. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this on my phone, and then I won't be able to put chat on screen. You got to eat more food. Yeah, I do. Actually, on that note of me needing to eat more food, first of all, if you have not yet hit like, we're at 99 likes, and it would be so sick if we could push over 100 likes right at the end of the stream. Because speaking of the fact that I got to eat more food, I still need to eat like 1,400 more calories today. So I should probably like try to make that work, because I'm going to try this new thing where I actually get off of my computer at 11 p.m. and like try to like start settling down and chilling out for the night. So I only have about 2 hours of my night left. Let me eat vicariously through you. I don't know exactly how that would work, but we'll make it happen. Do you think if I push myself really hard, I can hit level 80 by tomorrow? No, I don't. If you just hit level 76, I do not think that you could hit level 80 tomorrow. No. No, I do not. That's not how it works. End game. Okay, so you all are great. I appreciate you hanging out with me as per usual. Almost level 77 now, maybe. So, yeah, you're all great. I will be back on Thursday unless some crazy shit happens. I will see you in the future. Maybe. Or you'll see me. That's how this works. I can't actually see you.